No, you want me to go get it?
No, I was just gonna say because it's not closed up.
I'm gonna go get it.
Yep. Now you want to go on and go do something. I see how it is. Well, here I am by myself. LPH will be back in a moment. And is anybody out there yet? Can you see me? Can you hear me?
No, I can't get that door open.
Where do you get trapped?
Yeah.
And there's Gilgamesh.
Hey, Gilgamesh.
How's it going? It's going. We
saw.
Whoa. Golly. Okay. No, that's too much. What are you doing?
How do you zoomed up?
How do you reverse that now?
I don't know. It's fine.
It's not fine like that. You're messing things up.
See, now you.
All right, I see it. It flips over. Skateboarding Gavin, Brandon, Kentucky Carter.
Loud and clear.
See how she does me?
Hey,
R.
Grundy.
Joseph Grundy, Gilgamesh. It's snowing here in Athens.
It's snowing in where we are too. It's been snowing all day. Hey, Eric.
It's not sticking.
Yeah, it's not sticking, but
big
it's
flakes.
Big fat flakes.
Yeah, and it's kind of surprising because we were just talking about that. I haven't seen snow, or we haven't really seen snow since we left Illinois.
Yeah, it snowed all the time.
Even though it's not sticking, it's just like,
hey,
wow.
Black Knight.
Hey, Black Knight 710.
I know it's snowing in Illinois. He's in Illinois. It's always snowing there.
But I haven't seen snow since Illinois. Mm-hmm. I got it in Kansas. I got it in Massachusetts. Especially Massachusetts, you'll get varied. You think Chicago winters are bad, or some winters will be nothing. That's the weird thing. It's like nothing all winter, and then some winters you'll go to work in the morning and there's like 2.5 feet of snow on the door, and that's how it goes.
Yeah.
But welcome one and all.
Oh wow! It hasn't snowed in Chicago today. We got hit last night. Okay, Grundy is in Chicago. I know Black Knight is in that area.
Snow here, yeah.
In the Illinois Chicagoland area. So yeah, I don't miss Illinois Chicagoland at all. So it's too cold up there.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah. What you looking for?
I just wanted to find something since they're in the Chicago area, because Warren is, Nerdtastic Plastic. Warren is.
Ridley. I'm here, but I just cooked up some buffalo chicken wings. I hope you put it in your air fryer. So I'm going to get my phone all messy on the jack. You guys should come. No, I'm never, ever, ever coming back.
Well, we might go back one time for the county toy fair.
Hey, John.
Actually. Yeah, that's what it is. That's in Iowa, though. Davenport, Iowa. Nerdtastic Plastic is out there today.
Oh, okay. He's doing a show.
Yeah, he's got a show going there. I don't know what the name of it is, though, because I don't know if he put it on here. I just wanted to look at the phone real quick and see if anybody's gotten out there. There's John Fronzik.
Yeah. Hopefully, y'all had a good week.
Yes.
Very uneventful week with not a lot going on. No drama.
Drama indeed. And we try to be drama free.
Yeah.
Try to keep the channel drama free.
Oven baked, hopefully worthy. Yeah, I used to fry my not fry, but put my wings in the oven, and now we got this air fryer, and it does a good job actually. So I like the air fryer. It's less messy than like the fryer, the deep fryer, and even the oven. So I like that. But yeah, we hope you had a good week. Very uneventful week. We had a lot going on, at work. But then yesterday we went to a Comic-Con.
Yeah. We went to the Comic-Con.
Put the videos up, and we also went to a model train show.
That's right.
That was interesting. It was the first for both of us going to a model train show. So that was nice.
A dedicated one. Yes. And it's JG. How are you
Hey,
both doing
JG.
this weekend? We're hanging in there. We like she was just explaining. We went to the
Middle
Georgia
Comic Con.
Yep, Middle Georgia Comic Con, and someone had the video for that is already up. I put that up yesterday, and people. There's a couple of comments that it seems very small. It was very small.
It was very small. But the guy, he's just starting. I think this was either his second or third year. So it takes a while to grow. But it was nice to be out there. You had some vendors, a lot of comic books because it was a comic.
Yeah, it was like most making dealers coming together.
Couple of people with toys.
Yeah.
So it was good to just go, be out, film, see
what's
around. Yeah.
We didn't win the contest.
But they
had four door prizes. Yeah, John says, as one of my other favorite YouTube channels, Talk Toys, Not Other People. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's toys, comic books, old movies, TV shows, whatever.
Black Knight was saying, have we been to that garage sale up in Chicago? No, since we left Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't been, back since we left. And we left in 2018? Oh, 2019 we left. So I love model trains. My cousin was a foreman.
Okay.
For all things trains. Went with him a few times. It was fun. It was different than what I expected.
And that video will go up tomorrow.
Hey, Patrick. I thought it was going to be all model trains. Like you go into this big room and it was going to be just like a bunch of model trains. They did have model trains set up, but it was vendors selling stuff, and I didn't expect that. So at first I was like, oh, what's this? But it reminded me of a toy show. It's for you buy your stuff, your trains, your tracks, all of the model stuff, the people, the cars, the engines, the locomotives,
and memorabilia, because there was antique stuff there. There was a lot of dishes,
a lot of lanterns.
Yeah, and of course the dishes, and I explained in the video, it's from old dining cars. And there's Robert's Just a Fan. Robert's Just a Fan joining us.
Yeah, Robert. Just comics, huh? You guys okay? Heard your weather is a nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's all right. It's not bad as far as like a snowstorm would go.
Oh, Gilgamesh says he has his grandfather's model train. It's really old. I was able to get it working again, which made my mom happy. She said he used to set it up around the Christmas tree. Okay.
Okay.
Just bought Archie versus the Predator. Really? Good comic.
Yeah, they have the Archie meets the Punisher too.
Oh, my mom is here.
From the 90s. Hello.
And Lee says he's a big model train fan. Yeah, okay. And
they're cool.
Yeah.
They're cool. It's getting to be a forgotten hobby, really.
A lot of older people were there, but it was a lot of kids there too.
They were trying to get the kids
they were really
interested.
Involved.
Yeah.
The
majority of the hobbyists, they're like in their 70s and 80s. They're pretty old.
Joseph says he always says negativity whenever we mention Chicago. Did you guys not have a good experience?
Not necessarily. No.
We hated it. Everything about it, work, the neighborhood we lived in.
The neighbors really. It was a nice neighborhood. The neighbors were a bunch of rats.
Yeah. Weather. Some parts were good. Like we like to go thrift store. It was a lot of thrift stores there, so that was cool. We liked the toy shows. We were really into that. And there was a lot of toy shows, a lot of toy shops. So that was good. So our extracurricular time was pretty good. But when it came down to like everything else, it was just like a nightmare.
Work and taxes and neighbors.
Yeah.
Was annoying.
Made it like suck. So yeah. We had a train museum at our local dying mall before it finally got demolished. Only thing worth a darn there was my mom and pop theater. It was a mom and pop theater. Okay. Yeah. It's a while I was there while we were at the train show yesterday, it was vendors from 2 model train museums here in Georgia. I didn't know they had any. So I want to go check that out.
Yeah, it might be interesting to take a look at that.
The museums. So we'll go check that out, see what it's doing.
And John says the Archies used to be good. I read those comics in the dentist's office. Yeah, it used to be good until the creator died. Then they just went all in social and political with the books. Got weird.
We're watching the Archie cartoons right now.
Oh yeah, the original like early 70s Filmation ones with all original music, which is where the song Sugar Sugar comes from, which actually was a #1 hit. It charted.
Hey, Scarecrow.
He loves it when we're live.
Gilgamesh says he's only been to Chicago twice, once for work, once for vacation. It's an all right place. At least the area near the museum and aquarium was nice. That's another good topic for a video, the dying nostalgic of malls. We do have that on our list, the dying malls. Because we used to go to dying malls to take pictures and to just walk around.
Yeah.
That's something else we did when we were in Chicago. We had a lot of
abandoned stuff and abandoned that miniature golf course.
The miniature golf course, the mall. We did a video shoot at the mall. The whole thing, all of the stores were gone. And it was a fairly new mall, meaning it was built, I think at that point, it was built in like 2000, so 20 years ago. But the whole mall was shut down. There were no open stores there. And it was huge. And we went to a couple of them that were like that. And there's a bunch around here that are dying out.
Yeah, people just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the Archies and the Sabrina the Teenage Witch on VHS. So I'm not sure if it's going to make it to Blu-ray or not, because it gets weird with some of those titles, mostly because of the music. Like the problem they had with WKRP. WKRP was released on DVD, and they had dubbed all the music out because they had so much trouble with franchising the music. Everybody wanted a piece of the pie. Pretty soon there was no pie left. And they finally got it worked out. And I think the current release of WKRP on DVD has the music put back in, because on the show it used real music from the 70s. And, you know, everybody wants to slice off bits. That's why Batman 66, with the Adam West Batman, took all the way until a few years ago. Like, what did it come out, 5-6 years ago on DVD? Because remember, it was all celebrities. It was real celebrities wanted to be villains. The whole bit where they had the window that would open up when they're climbing the wall and someone would pop out was because so many celebrities wanted to be on the show. That was the only way they could fit them in anymore. But the people that own the franchise rights to the properties of them, even though they're deceased, they all want a piece. Oh, well, so-and-so was in that episode. Yeah. Sammy Davis was in that episode for 3 seconds, so I want X amount of dollars for it. And it took forever for them to negotiate it.
Robert says he bought The Silver Bullet with Gary Busey. That was a good movie, Stephen King's Silver Bullet. I never saw A Bad Moon. I don't think so. Let's see. Joseph says there are hardly any malls left in Chicago. That's a shame. I miss going to malls. I used to go to the great mall called the Crystal Mall. That's John. Eric says the Wonder Years was the same way with the music. They eventually had to replace a lot of the music. Really, because we bought the DVD. We haven't gotten to it yet. So that's going to be kind of weird if they replace all the original music. Yeah, we bought the DVD of the Wonder Years.
And Robert says they did that to Love at First Bite too. And that song, I'd Love the Nightlife, I think is the name of the disco tune. And that song was written for that film. That's supposed to be the theme song to that movie. Oh, Dr. Skellenstein. Skellenstein or Skellenstein.
And Ridley said, my local mall was a town over and designed like a giant square near the end. More than half of the mall was empty. There was the theater, clothing store, and food court, and a church. Yeah, a lot of churches go to the mall and they get the anchor stores and they make a big church out of it. In Italy, what they did is the anchor stores, they would turn it into a nightclub.
Is Punisher XS.
Hey, Punisher.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Or if it's like a strip mall, then a whole bunch of little tiny African churches open up in it. Has anybody seen that?
They have one here in Georgia. I went there once, and it's a strip mall, but every store is a different church.
A little tiny, probably seats like 20 people.
Yeah,
it's
it depends on the size.
Crazy
of the
names
store.
on it, like Holy Christ Church of the Redeemer of the Saving Oil, something or other. They got these like ridiculous long names.
My malls is blah, but okay. Nowadays, malls are for shooting people. Yeah, that sadly happens around here. They have a lot of shootings at the mall. Melody, hey you guys, hey, wish y'all would have been taking footage of the train. We did.
The video.
David put it up.
No, the video will go up tomorrow.
Yeah,
but we did film that.
We did film it. We had a good time. We talked about it, but it was a very nice experience. My first time going to a model train show, and I was expecting the whole thing to be just trains, model trains.
She thought it was going to be all dioramas.
Yeah, the whole thing would be like dioramas all over the place. But it was nice, and I had a good time walking around, looking at the stuff, and it was real interesting because one guy, he had the person's ID cards. He had like 100 ID cards.
Yeah, all the way back to the 1800s.
Yeah.
Identification cards.
And then he had letters where people got the letter to confirm their reservation. And those went back to the 1800s. They had menus from the different train lines. So that was really nice, and it was interesting, and I enjoyed it.
Socrates is here.
Hey, Socrates.
No, we didn't run into anybody we knew this time, Robert. And he was asking about no cool pickups. Yeah, I did actually. Did you see the video? At the end of the video, I showed a couple of things that I picked up, not from the train show, but from the comic show. I did pick up a couple of things.
Yeah, you gonna show it?
Yeah, because it's gonna be a project. And like I was saying in the video, I was hoping to find some project books. And this is absolutely it. This is a rescue book. And that, of course, is the Strange Tales Annual #1. And it was graded a 3.5. And the case is already broken. You see that line? That's because it's cracked. Somebody dropped this. And I think there's a crack in one of the corners too. Yeah, right down here. So I got it really cheap. And you can tell, if you know anything about comics, that's a really old CGC label. And I looked it up to get the history on it, which is a plus and a minus, because usually you can, if it's below like an 8, you can get some grading biography on it, like the grader's notes. They'll tell you, oh, I thought I found this and that wrong with it. No grader's notes. It's too old. This was graded in 2001 is when this was done. But it's filthy. The book, I don't know how well you can tell. The book is really dirty. It's got some creases in it, but the creases don't really have color breaks except for like right down here. So it can be cleaned and pressed. And so I'm going to crack this, and I'm going to clean and press it, and I'm going to send it back. I'm going to send it in, and hopefully they don't screw up the grading, because that is a possibility. The other one that I picked up, there's nobody famous in this particular issue of Strange Tales, as you can see. It's not like the significance of it, of course, is being a #1 annual, so that makes it a key, even though nobody famous in it, I don't think.
Electric Emphasis asked if we saw Akira the movie. No, we never saw that movie.
I saw it.
Oh, you saw it.
I've seen it. I've seen Akira. I've seen Akira. That was the definitive film for really cracking anime into the United States and making it more of a cultural thing, even though you already had on Saturday mornings or after school Speed Racer, Force 5, Battle of the Planets. What was the other one? Star Blazers. But as a film feature production, when it came here, and it wasn't shown in regular theaters, it was shown in like local, like artsy theaters. That's where I saw it. And it's like, wow, it just blew you away at the time. Even though the film takes a turn and becomes drastically different from the comic series, which I have read the comics also. But, getting back to my original thing, the other thing that I picked up was Forever People #1. Hey, you can't ignore Jack Kirby. This thing screams Jack Kirby. And I got the two of them from the same guy, and he renegotiated, and he gave me a really good offer price, which was actually surprisingly low for the two of them. Without getting into all of that, I got it at an incredible deal. And I looked this one up, and the grading notes are wrong. It said, this one was encapsulated in 2018, 7.5, and it says small split, bottom of spine, and it is there. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a tiny little split right there. Small seam split at the staple, right there. And then it says multiple small creases on the top of the book, and the front top cover is what it says. There are no creases there. I even went over this with a magnifying glass. There are no creases in this cover at all. And I'm like, did you grade it wrong? Was there another book? Maybe the guy sent in two and you mixed them up. The grading notes are wrong. While everybody thinks CGC is so fantastic, they make as many mistakes, more in fact, in my experience, than PGX or CBCS. But everybody loves them. And the thing is, they were the first ones doing this, but that doesn't mean they're the best necessarily. But if you had 3 books graded the same, with the same point, and one was CGC and one was CBCS and one was PGX, the CGC one would get the most money if you sold it. Because everybody's like, oh, it's CGC. They're the authority. They make more mistakes than the other two, in my experience. But I think this one, now I'm tempted to crack it out and, just give it a press, just because the staple wells are sunk in a little bit, and it's a little dirty, not bad, but it could stand to be buffed, which is done with cotton balls. There is a technique for it, but I'm like, I know this is graded wrong. I've got another Forever People.
The same one?
The exact same one.
So why you bought that one?
Because I got a good deal. That is graded an 8. That looks almost identical to the condition of this one.
YouTube said that you're lying.
Oh, I'm glad they let me know.
23 minutes in.
Oh, go ahead.
No, Socrates was saying that he used to go to a antique train store in Virginia Beach when he was young, and he also rescues cops from stores because he don't want to see it and thrown in the trash. Robert, I like comics with crossovers. He liked crossover comics. John, I remember Weird War Tale comics from DC.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. And Melanie's still on Maul. She said Mauls
like
are
the army
off.
fighting giant ants and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That reminded me of that movie. We saw it on, was it Rift Track? Or we saw it on Mystery Science, where the army was fighting these giant ants.
Yeah, and there was another one with grasshoppers.
Yeah, it was grasshoppers.
They did a lot of that.
Ants, and I think a spider one time.
They did that a lot in the 50s because it was the atomic age.
Yeah.
And people were convinced that with all the atomic bomb testings, it was going to cause giant mutations of insects and lizards and stuff. So they made a lot of movies like that, playing on public fears, if you will.
And Melody says that the malls where she is It's awful, but I think they're going to turn them into town centers. I don't know, because people don't want to go out to the malls anymore.
People don't want to go to town centers either.
No. Well, they like to go and sit outside with the restaurants and coffee shops, but to go in the store and buy stuff, because the majority of the time you can't find what you want anyway. And then you can find it online. Sometimes it's cheaper online. So I think the whole mall era, because in the 80s and piece of the 90s, I think it was the mall era. You remember when they had concerts in malls, they had fashion shows.
Yeah, I remember.
They did music videos in the mall. Everything went on in the mall.
There was an arcade in the mall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the place to be, but now it seems like people don't even want to go out anymore. Not like that.
They've gotten accustomed to just sitting at home and being entertained. And
I like
shopping,
going to the mall to people watch. Because you remember we used to do that.
Shopping at home. And everything at home. I don't have to go anywhere. I just sit right here, man.
Yeah.
People watching. It's a weird folks at the mall.
We used to do that, and we used to have this. It's probably not right for me to talk about, so I ain't even say what we used to do.
Oh, no.
We used to go to the mall and people watch, and that was fun.
Yeah, Ridley Cinema, the Speed Racer movie actually wasn't bad. It's not really 100% on point with the original anime, but the film wasn't bad. And the political speech from the head of the corporation in the middle of the film, when he's putting Speed Racer in his place, is classic and very true. There's a lot to think about there.
And I was always fond of the 70s metal men. They look cool to me, but never knew their story. I don't know. That chemo character look.
Or Chemo or Chemco.
I don't know.
Yeah, the origin story, I think it was that it was this guy's failed experiments, and he had a giant like glass body or something that he would pour all his failed experiments into, and one day it came to life. I think that's the one, right?
No, Brandon, I feel fine. David gets on his little comic book trips. I don't know what he's talking about half the time.
No, she reads the comic books, but she doesn't know anything about the grading aspect.
Yeah, and then he goes deep in there and talking about creases and trying to show me this and that. And I'm like, I don't even buy those books. Why don't you just buy it all in one big thing like I do and be done with it? Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't pick up anything. I didn't pick up any comics. I didn't pick up anything from the train show. But I didn't expect to, because when I go to those comic shows, I rarely ever get anything because I'm not into comic books like all that. Like I said, I'll read an omnibus. It has to be all one in one thing for me to read it. I'm not reading all those little magazines all over. Electric says,
emphasis.
Do you know Joe Manley? I don't know who that is. And Dama says that sometimes it's the mood of the grader at the time that he grade things that affects him. I can believe that.
There is supposed to be a science to it, but it's still subjective. You can have 5 different professional graders and get 3 different opinions out of them, or vice versa. You could have three of them and they're totally confused. They get 3 different ideas, 5 different ideas. They don't know.
But then you have some graders that look for certain things. Yeah. It's just like an auditor. You have an auditor come to your job, and one auditor looks at this specifically. Somebody looks at it all the way around. Somebody else is big on that. And it might be the same with the comic book grader.
There could be an issue of being rushed on their part also, because they have such a large load of books. It's a nonstop stream. Plus, if CGC's telling the truth and their graders are not comic collectors, because they basically hire people who have like a bachelor's degree in graphic arts and train them to grade comics. That's kind of how that works, or so they say, or used to say. Our people are not comic collectors, and that's supposed to be a guarantee that they don't try to steal your books or switch them.
That don't mean nothing. They can figure out, oh man, this is
worth a lot.
Yeah.
You don't know.
You don't have to, because a lot of flippers are not collectors.
But yeah, that's true. But if they don't care about your books, they don't care about your books. And that's also where, if you've seen that one video, some of you might have seen, where there was a CGC and he was like a lead. He was one of the supervising graders, flipping through that Superman, remember?
Yeah, he teared up the pages.
Flipped through it so fast, he damaged the book. And when you're talking about losing a point on like Superman #1, you're talking about $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 of damage, and they are not liable. You send them your book, it's on you. So it's like, people were real pissed at that video. That was like a couple years ago that the video was circulating.
I like trains, but I think it's it would have been cool if it was slot cars.
Slot cars are cool too, and that's gone. I don't even think they make slot cars anymore, do they?
I bought Spider-Man 316 raw, but I do not like CGC that much. Melanie said that they donated their neglected pops to Toys for Tots.
Okay.
Yeah, David liked Toys for Tots. I used to do something in Christmas. That shoe box thing. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, but the church does it.
Yeah, they give you a shoe box.
Whatever you can fit in the shoe box.
Yeah. And then they send it to the third world countries and all kinds of stuff. We used to do that. Oh.
Peter likes omnibus.
That's the way to go.
Yeah.
Somebody was saying that they're watching Gilgamesh, that he's seen that movie with the ants, and he's watching Mystery Science right now.
MST3K is fun.
Yeah.
I don't like the new one. I don't like the new incarnation, but I like the original MST, and I like Riff Tracks is cool.
Riff Tracks is good. And they just put up some new movies.
Yeah, they just hit a few other releases. Some of those films are so awful.
Yeah, and it's on Amazon Prime and on Tubi for free, the new ones. Because a lot of them you have to pay for.
Yeah.
But they release some free ones on Amazon Prime and on Tubi. So if you like Riff Tracks, or if you like Mystery Science and you've never seen Riff Track, it's the exact same thing with the same people. So the movie Creep Show was based on an old.
That's true.
Yeah, that was Stephen King, wasn't it? The Creep Show?
No, I don't know. I don't think so. But yeah, Creep Show was a comic, and there's a few others that have been done. I can't remember the names of them, but we saw a couple of them on Newcastle After Dark, and they were based on not Creep Show, but these were done in like the early 70s and based on horror comics.
Have you read the
Tom
Star
Baker was
Trek
in one.
Planet of the Apes crossover?
No, I haven't. I don't read modern books very often.
And then Robert said he's read Star Trek Doctor Who crossover. Malls are a great place to hang out during the zombie apocalypse. What movie was that? Day of the Dawn? No. It was like
movie. It was like a sequel to Night of the Living Dead.
No, it wasn't a sequel.
I don't remember the name.
It was a movie. It came out in the 80s. But it was a zombie, and they these people were in the mall and they locked themselves up in the mall.
That girl got them all killed.
She had got pregnant, didn't she? Because that was in the mall for like a year.
That was her fault. They died because of the helicopter.
Oh yeah, she insisted on that helicopter.
And then somebody finally spotted that helicopter going up. You need to show me how to fly this helicopter because I'm bored.
Yeah, she was all bored and she got pregnant.
A raiding party spotted that chopper. And then came and tore them all.
But they were in that mall for like a year. They were fine. They were living in the mall. Would spend hours at the arcade, and that's Socrates.
Arcades. Back when it first started really coming up, or video arcades, because there's been arcades for a long time, pinball machines and stuff like that. But when it became video arcades, Pac-Man and whatever, Galaga, that was a whole different world that people, younger people nowadays have no idea what that was like.
Yeah. One Day Wally Won't Be Satire. I never saw Wally. David did. He said it's good.
Yeah.
After 2 years of lockdown, we don't go anywhere anymore. Oh,
people are getting used to that though.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's causing people to want to buy more from home. And now all of the commercials tell you, like, then we saw that one with the doctor's office. Oh, I want to just sit home on my couch and visit the doctor, because now that's becoming more of a thing.
And they show, and it's kind of sad, but there's a reality to that commercial, because the woman with and she was like, I want to be able to see the doctor for anything. I don't care what it is. And she's like pulling tissues out and stuff. And it's like, you're a hypochondriac. There's nothing wrong with you, but you're going to waste people's time and be demanding. And it's like, yeah, okay, that's about right. Because anybody who's ever dealt with an emergency room knows that like 80% of the people that go to the emergency room are wasting the emergency room's time. They don't actually have an emergency.
It's an emergency to them.
Yeah, to them, because they're weak.
I had an aunt that used to do that. If her kids, I mean, their nose could run, she was in the emergency room. She did not care.
See,
she took
that's
them to the emergency room. And then, you know, the thing, this is the truth. The majority of the people that go to the emergency room don't have insurance. People with insurance, they don't go to the emergency. They treat themselves. I'm serious. Because if you got insurance, you go to the emergency room, you have to pay that copay. You don't have insurance, you go to the emergency room. Yeah,
and then
because you can't go to the doctor.
That's so you know what's funny too is that people say, oh, they go on and on about healthcare, but
we're not talking about that. That's not what this channel is about.
If you go to the hospital, and you don't have any insurance, then somebody from administration will do some paperwork with you later, and then you don't pay anyways.
Anyway,
just making the point.
I love going to the mall mainly for the cool movies and stores like KB and Suncoast with all the movie stuff, but they all gone, even the malls and the comic shops. Yeah, they're gone. Melanie sang with her chorus in high school at Christmas time at Chesapeake Square Mall. Now that's a dead mall series on YouTube. Yeah, there's a lot of YouTubers out there that show you like dead malls, shopping malls, and houses and subdivisions, stuff like that. I'm getting comic TV
trade paperback.
Oh, how you know? Oh, mainly crossovers. Okay. Eric says, Dave, I purchased a minty Matchbox Pee Wee Herman talking doll with a great box. I know you own one. The seller said he also sent me the 24-inch version as a gift. Oh, have you ever seen that size? The 24-inch?
Yeah, that's the one I have, isn't it? I think so, because that's most of the Matchbox ones are about that big.
Right? I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure off the top of my head how tall it is.
Electric Emphasis says Joe Mealy is a comic book artist at Atlas
Comics.
Where did Atlantis from? Atlas Comics. Peter likes Omnibus because he's cool. I don't
have a problem with Omnibus, okay? I just like having the classic books.
I don't get books graded because I'm afraid of them damaging them. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I see the point if it's an old book.
And you want to preserve it. Yeah.
Yeah. You want that case. But if it's a brand new book you just got from Walmart, then you need to just wait a while. Oh, we lost track. I lost track again.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to just start right
Somebody said Dawn of the Dead is the one.
It is Dawn of the Dead, where they were locked up. I think it was a part 2 to that. I think it was 2 parts. If anything, you'd want to hire collector's cause because they have respect for it. Yeah, you want to do that. Robert, okay, Melanie's talking to Robert. I don't like the new Mystery Science either. I only like the older ones. Do you know if there are any Crow and Tom figures?
Yeah, there are. There's a Crow, a Tom, and a Gypsy figure. It was made in the early 2000s, and it was part of the Mystery Science Theater DVD box sets.
Yeah, and it is on eBay. You can buy the whole box set.
And Amazon. And basically, it's like a larger window box with the action figure in the window of the box, and it's the only way to get them. And most of the Mystery Science Theater MST3K DVD box sets, they don't cost too much, but those 3 with the figures can get kind of expensive.
Yeah, because I bought some of the I bought a few of the seasons, and they're fairly cheap. But like he said, once you get to that, the ones with the action figures, they're expensive. And of course, Funko made Tom and Crow.
Yeah, and I agree with Ridley. He says, if anything, you'd want higher collectors because they'd have more respect for the hobbies. And yeah, exactly. Because I wouldn't just take someone else's book and just tear through it like he was. I mean, he literally had the book and was just thumbing it like this to check it, to make sure the pages were intact. But he's tearing through so quick, and I'm like, dude, you're holding like a book that's worth about $250,000, and you're just flying through it. What are you doing? And and he did tear. He damaged the book. Yeah. He brought it down like a whole point.
Because that is true. If you got a person that also collects, they got a respect for it, a healthy respect, and they know, okay, you don't need to mess around with this. Let's put on the little white gloves and sit it down, and we flip it page to page like that, really slow.
Yeah, that's like that one guy at the comic convention last year when I was where I got the Ninja Turtle one.
Oh yeah, he was like, yeah, you can come back.
He was he was like, you can he was like, yeah, you go ahead and open it whatever you want. You knew what you're doing, because he saw the way I was handling it. But there's other people, they don't want you to touch this stuff.
Yeah, because he wouldn't let some people back there, but then David came back there, he's doing his little, he gets really funny with those comics.
I don't want to hurt him.
Because he'll get the book. Let me see. That broken chair. Give me that book.
You have damaged this chair so much.
I bought me a new chair. He didn't buy himself a new chair.
You need to quit. She broke my chair.
I did not.
And then broke the other side. And then she's like, oh, you need to get a new chair.
He goes in a place and he holds it like this on his fingers, and then he tips it and he stick his nose way in the air and make his eyes big, and he does all like this to the book, and the people are looking at him like he's weird, and then I get embarrassed and walk away.
They know what I'm doing.
Let's see who else is saying something. Okay, everybody said Dawn of the Dead is it. Yeah, it was Dawn of the Dead. That was actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah. Here we go. Just trying to find something here.
It turned into something. Okay, so Melody is still talking to Robert. Let's see. My dog is staring at me while I eat but yeah, he is, because he wants some. He wants you to give him some. Or if he anything like my dog, if you turn your head, when I had a dog, you turn your head and he'll eat everything off of your plate while your head is turned.
See?
Yeah. So let's see. No insurance sent you outside the hospital. We have been out mailed to toy stores and grocery shopping. Let's see. Real talk, real deal. Hey, we haven't seen you in a while. How are you guys doing? We're doing great.
That's annoying. Sorry, my phone is trying to force me to take COVID notifications.
Once you slab a book, you basically just have a big trading card.
Well, the thing also is some people don't really like comics, but they like the art. And I knew a guy like that in the 90s. He would come in and he'd come into the New England Comics, and he'd look and look and look, and he'd just look for covers that caught his attention, and then he would frame them. He would frame the book. He never read them, but some people are like that.
I like some of the book covers.
Yeah.
They're nice. They pop out. They got a pretty picture on it. The coloring is nice or something like that. But I wouldn't just buy a ton of, comic books, because then you got a lot of books just everywhere, all over the place. So I want them all together. Okay, Link says that he remember Funko Pops and DVD sets and all of that. And Rat says, did you create a section in your museum for bootleg figures?
No, not necessarily.
No, we got some.
Yeah, check this out, because we got and this was in our video. This He-Man.
I'm going to paint it.
He is 14 inches tall, and this was sent to us by from Rollo from Masters Maniac Mexico, which is another channel here. And he has 3 points of articulation, his waist and his shoulders. And best thing about this figure, look at the header card.
Yeah, that's a Civil War. It's like G.I. Joe or something.
It's like He-Man, Civil War, whatever.
I'm gonna paint it so it can look good. But I'm gonna I'm looking it up how to paint plastic so I can paint it.
These are hilarious.
Yeah.
Look at that hair paint. They didn't paint the backs at all. It's like,
they just painted the front. They just took like some spray paint and sprayed, and then we're done. Nothing in the back. The back is just.
These are hilarious.
Yeah, but I think it'll be fun to paint. Practice my painting skills. Let's see. LPH Socrates got a bunch of Motu figures for us, but woo! Oh, that's nice. Now he can start his Motu journey. And then he can put it up on YouTube and y'all can see. I'm finding myself buying those Marvel retro figures, kind of addicting, and led me to buying some Super 7. I'm curious. I like to buy those plastic.
He's talking the clamshells.
Oh yeah. What Super
Toy
7?
Shield.
Yeah, Toy Shield. But let me tell you about Toy Shield. I've said this before when other people have asked. It's the truth.
Here we go. Yeah, you're right.
If you're gonna buy from Toy Shield, and like let's say you got a bunch of different action figures on the card and they're different sizes, don't buy like a bunch of sizes at once because they'll mess it up. Yeah, and so if you need one, like let's say you need 10 of one size, buy that one size
and move on. Then
buy the next size, get it, buy the next size. Because if you try to buy it all, they're going to mess up the size. They're going to mess up the lids. So you might have the right size bubble, but then the lid doesn't fit, or the right lid in the wrong bubble. And then if you contact them, they don't ask you to send it back. They send you more, and it's still the wrong size. So, just be careful if you buy more than one stuff. And Ridley says, I got an eBay gift card for my birthday last week and got some hard to find Star Wars Black Series. So that sounds good. And Real Talk says, comic books are valuable from story to art, especially in 89 and earlier. No SJW crap for me, please. I like the how the old newsprint smell. Okay. Plus, I like how
it's a different grade of paper. They started changing the paper in the 90s, and there is a completely different smell to the vintage books.
I saw one book yesterday while we were out, and I'm thinking about getting it. It's called Something Is Killing the Children. So I looked it up to see what the premise is. I'm thinking about getting it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, this one.
Well, then there's those fake collectors that just get some of the toys straight from the manufacturers for. Don't even start, David, with that.
We know some people like that. I've met a few of those like big YouTube channel guys at a couple of shows, and man, they are phony in real life. Yeah, don't even get me going. Without throwing any names out there, because I'm not trying to start a little fake feud or something, but
happy birthday, Ridley. His birthday was last week.
Well, belated.
Yeah,
three days ago.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, Robert says he's thinking about getting those G.I. Joe figures from Super 7. Another rabbit hole.
It's tempting, but like he says, that's exactly the problem. It's just so many things out there new. It just doesn't stop. And how many different companies can make G.I. Joe? Mezco's making them. Everybody's making them. It's like, wow.
And that's why
Zero's making them.
Yeah, that's why I stopped getting the Masters of the Universe, because everybody was making it for a time. Super 7 was making it. Mattel is making it. Mondo is making it. And they're all the same figures. They're not even coming up with new figures. They're all the same figures. So it's like, which one do you really want? But I do like the Super 7 G.I. Joe, because I like the cards. Plus, I was trying to convince David to get it, but he's talking about the Ultimates. Oh, he talking about the Ultimates?
The card art on the reaction figures is really nice.
Yeah.
But I think he's talking about the Ultimates, which of course are the first ones to be cartoon accurate, and that's the plug. But it's again, and I like them, but I'm like, I like a lot of things. And how far can you stretch yourself? I mean, we don't have an unlimited income. It may seem that way sometimes, but it's a lot of years and a lot of hustle to put together the collection we have. And I'm sure most of the people watching know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
No. John says, I will always remember the great comic book boom and bust bubble of the early 90s.
Yeah, that's when they picked up a cue from the trading card community, but didn't learn the lesson. Because trading cards, and you can actually see if you I used to do cards. I got out of that a long time ago. But once upon a time, I think it was 88 or 89, you went from like maybe half a dozen companies making sports cards to like almost 100. And then all of these, and in order to compete, what do? You start coming up with an idea. Oh, well, we're going to have chase cards. We're going to have hologram cards. We're going to have secret autograph cards. And it flooded the market. A lot of hobby shops went under because they didn't know what to buy. They bought into cards nobody was buying. I saw a ton of card shops fold up in Boston at that time, and it ruined the industry. But then the comic books did the same thing, and toys are doing it now.
Ridley says, at some point, should he expect the comic appraiser to try and slice pizza while he with the comic? Probably.
Yeah.
They eat with it. They got a donut in one hand and flipping the page with the
spill it all powdered sugar all inside your book, and you're like, whoops.
And
it's going to be encapsulated. They won't see this.
Drinking coffee and a coffee spill, all kinds of stuff. Okay, I read that. I just bought the Super 7 Shogun Godzilla.
Okay.
Brought back memories. Those are nice. I've seen them.
Oh, I think he's talking it's like this big though. It's a reaction
that's
figure.
The big ones.
Super 7.
I thought they had the big ones.
I don't know if they
like
do
the ultimate size.
Yeah, they do Shoguns that big of like characters, like they did Boba Fett and Skeletor and stuff. But I think he's talking about are you talking about the reaction one that's like this big, or did they do a bigger one?
Link is saying that it's a Hot Wheels shortage in his area.
There's no die-cast car, remember?
Yeah, we were in the aisle
the Walmart
today.
Or the Target.
But they have filled up the rest of the toys.
Yeah, the action figures are starting to come in a little late. They should have been there for Christmas. And they talk about all these shortages and stuff coming from overseas, but there's no shortage of electronics because the TVs are packed in there.
Yeah, they got them TVs.
That's because they know those refund checks will be coming around soon.
Yeah, people need
Walmart wants to get their hooks in your money.
Yeah. Robert says he heard that China is holding everything back due to the new COVID virus.
They're holding everything back because they don't like Biden.
Don't even start that. Action figure Phil. I collected the Super 7 Filmation. They did a really good job with them. Now I'm really big into the origins. Yeah,
okay.
I have the Super 7 Filmation line. I like that. I like what they were doing with that. I'm not collecting the origins because what I said, I have some of the original. I have the Super 7 one. I got the classics. So they were all the same figure. And
there's only really slight differences.
Yeah. And then there are a lot of characters in the Filmation, if you watch the show, that they didn't do figures of. So I figure if they do a figure of somebody that they've never done before, then I'll get it. Let's see what Gilgamesh is saying. I like the Masterverse figures. We've been seeing a lot of that lately in the Walmart. They're the first Masters of the Universe I've collected since the Origins line. What Filmation fill which figures? Oh, he's talking about the Masters of the Universe had a Filmation line. Mattel came out with it originally, but they only had, I want to say 8 or 9 figures. And then Super 7 picked that line up. And they made more figures. I can't remember how many. They made about 20 of them. But it's a nice line. Unicron is causing a shortage on. It's causing a shortage on everything.
Well, that's the excuse anyway.
Anybody seen the mini?
Oh, you skipped it.
Yeah, it went up on the mini TVs at Walmart. You mean the TV action figure?
Oh, the toy ones?
Yeah, we've seen that.
We've seen those.
Yes, David. The 3-inch is pretty cool. Oh, he talking about the 3-inch one. Super 7 just did a Bionic Woman.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bionic Woman and Fembot.
Had the original He-Man figures in setback in about 84, 85. So wanted to recollect.
So got tired of collecting Funko Pops. We hear a lot of that.
Yeah, I've stopped. I still have a few more handful coming in. I'm not getting any more. I know, right?
They still trickle in from God knows when.
I know. No one likes, but now see, you're not Brandon talking about
it. It's okay.
Even people who voted for. Oh boy. One of the biggest problems I run into with collecting toys is running out of that's the main
space
thing.
Is a main issue.
I mainly collect Blu-rays and put figure on top of my bookcases. But figure collection takes up Scare Glow. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, we agree. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Yeah, haven't bought Pops in a few years. Just got my favorites. Yeah, I bought some this year. Those Mickey Mouse ones always get me though. Mickey Mouse and Winnie the Pooh always get me. Let's see. Super 7 Bionic Woman looks good. I also bought the Super 7 Johnny Cash. I thought about that. I'm not getting it because I love Johnny Cash. Saw Columbo when I bought him. Super 7 has a Columbo figure?
I don't know. Do they?
I don't know. How much Hot Wheels in Charlotte?
All I've ever seen is like a die-cast reproduction of his car. And that's and that was done some time ago, and it's not cheap.
Lynx is buying the Playmates Godzilla. I've been collecting the Pirates of the Caribbean figures, Donnie Depp drama, and the old Jack Sparrow. Returning. Space is definitely an issue with action.
It's one of the main problems is space, and then once you have a space for it, is maintaining it, because a lot of people, they don't take good care of them. Yeah. We see, and we're not trying to pick on anybody. Like I said, I'm not going to name anyone, but you see a lot of collection videos, and it's like, I didn't have a chance to clean up. You knew you were going to film, and you've got like a 1/4 inch of dust on your entire collection. It's like they don't maintain it well. Yeah. And so taking care of it, and some people don't know how. They don't know how to take care of it very well.
Yeah, but I will say, once you get a lot of stuff to dust, because when we dust, we take everything down.
Yeah.
Wipe
it's detailed.
We wipe the figures off, the boxes, the figures, wipe down the wall, wipe down the shelf.
Always wiping. And I have one
here. Not wipe, but brush and stuff like that.
Use a makeup brush, because especially on those cello windows, even just wiping with a cloth or a baby wipe or whatever you got can streak those and damage them.
Yeah.
So we use one of these, and I use this with when I'm working on the comic books too, which is why I have one sitting here, because I can dust, clean the surfaces off without damaging the paper. Oh, and this is something from the thrift store, by the way. $6 Million Man, the Elves Revolt.
Brad says, do you have Fembot or Mascotron figures in the museum?
Not anymore. I those are part of the collection that I had, the one that was stolen, but I do not currently have Mascotron or Fembot. I used to have them boxed.
Gilgamesh had to rearrange his collection last week because he knows he's going to need space for a few series I'm collecting.
Yes.
But see, now, this is one thing, and we've said it before. What you do if you have a lot of stuff, just rotate it out like every 3 to 6 months. Take it down, put up something else. you know, just to rotate it out so you can see it, so you can wipe it down, and you know, just freshen the room up. That's what we do. I take my stuff down because I took down all of my Ninja Turtles just so I could put something else up that I just wanted to look at for a while. So
yeah, I think you ended up putting the
swamp things up. Yeah. Have a box where my Godzilla fits, put away with some Pokemon figures too.
Yeah, sometimes, and a lot of collectors, their collection ends up in a box somewhere.
Yeah, I got.
I've been there.
Big parts of mine in a box. I don't care. I own it. No Columbo figs. I wish Super 7 would do Columbo, Magnum, Cooter, Fantasy Island. Maybe I'll pick up the Love Boat, Isaac and Alan.
Oh, you mean Welcome Back, Otter?
Oh, okay, that's
well, Mattel did them. Yeah, Mattel did them in the 70s.
And I think somebody did Love Boat.
Migo did it.
Okay.
In like 1980.
Alan, Alda, Hawkeye, and Klinger. And
those were done too in a G.I. Joe style format. They're completely compatible with G.I. Joe, the MASH figures and vehicles. I think TriStar made that. If I remember correctly.
Socrates is asking me, do I make stands for my He-Man figures? I don't take them out of the package, so I don't have problems with them standing because I don't take them out.
Oh, do they make stands?
Oh, do they make stands? I don't know.
For the vintage ones, they do. It's got like these little foot clamps that you put their feet into to help them to stand up.
Who do you get it? Probably eBay?
eBay. Yeah, I don't remember who makes them, but I know they sell them on eBay.
Saw a video where someone put the Super 7 Johnny Cash in the Creature Cantina. Hilarious.
You know what you need to put in the Creature Cantina is Norm from Cheers. I don't think there is a 3 3/4 inch Norm though.
Socrates said he woke up this morning and found his faker on the floor.
And that happens, and those are, if they're the vintage ones especially, they're hard to keep standing because that elastic, that rubber piece, makes their legs turn out and they're always falling over.
TV show action figures are a tough sell. My Target still has Migo, Sabrina, Duncan's from Sabrina, I guess the teenage witch, and Charlie's Angel.
And it usually it is, and it's actually kind of surprising that it's taken Migo all the way until their second time around in the 2000s. After failing again with that to figure it out and start doing just all sci-fi and monsters, which is all anybody wanted. They used to do that back in the 70s, and the stuff didn't sell. People don't realize, as popular as Migo was, it's only certain lines of Migo that were popular, and the rest of it was shelf warmers. They were famous for shelf warmers. They had stuff sitting around for years. But the Love Boat is a great example of it. They made Love Boat figures 3 3/4 inch and marketed it to kids. What kids want to play with Doc and Isaac inside of a little Love Boat playset? It doesn't make any sense. Now it makes sense because we look back and we're like, oh, it'd be cool to have that. But little kids, they don't want that.
No.
It doesn't make any sense. But they did stuff like that all the time. Sonny and Cher dolls. You know how easy it is? Although the prices are going up on them, Sonny and Cher and Farrah Fawcett and all of these 12-inch dolls that they made, they're not that. Although the prices are coming up, you can find them in boxes. There's a reason for that. It's because they never sold in the first place. You know, but the superheroes, Planet of the Apes, Monsters, oh yeah, they sold tons of that stuff, and that's what's selling now. But it took all the way until a second incarnation for Migo to learn that lesson.
Scarecrow wants to know if you have any Pirates of Darkwater.
I don't have any of those. I remember that series though.
Really, it pisses me off to no end when my dog smacks into my bookcase. Fat Ears smacks into my bookcase and knows all my fingers off the like dominoes. Yeah, my dog used to swing her tail.
Her tail was like a whip. Yeah. It was a big dog.
And knock everything down.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the G.I. Joe. I don't know that name. I'll just say TA 101. Thrawns 101. I'm enjoying the G.I. Joe Classified line over the Marvel Legends and Star Wars Black Series. Okay.
I liked it too, but I gave up on it because I could never find them. I have some, but I was just like, enough already. Movie World wants to know if I'm a fan of the Quantum Leap TV show. Yeah, I used to watch that. I haven't seen it in a long time though, but I did used to watch that.
Anyone who has a cat knows they are knocking action figures on the floor.
Action Figure Phil says that.
Yeah.
Not Kitty, not Kitty though.
Yeah, she don't jump on.
She doesn't jump on anything, but that's because she's got that problem with her leg. She doesn't jump up on anything.
I'm wondering TV show figures don't sell. I remember the 70s did a lot of TV. Happy Days, Love Boat. Okay, we talked about that.
Yeah, and they didn't. And also, although they're hard to find now, Migo did the Laverne and Shirley 12-inch figures. Who do you think? What kids do you think wanted to play with a Lenny and Squiggy action figure in the 70s? No, nobody.
Ridley says, who bought the Golden Girls doll from NECA? Who is that for? And Thrawns kind of says the same thing. Seinfeld and Golden Girl viewers don't want an action figure. That's true.
It's a very small, select group of people that would buy that for nostalgia, and they're going to be adults. It's not going to be kids buying that stuff.
Yeah. Link, I noticed people are collecting VHS tapes. They're getting certified like comics. I've seen that graded.
Only if they're sealed. Loose ones are a dime a dozen. Mm-hmm. But there's very few VHS cassettes that are real, that have an actual value to them anymore. Mm-hmm. Usually it's just something that hasn't been put on DVD. And if it's sealed, you can get it graded and get some good money for it. Loose, I don't think so. But it's an interesting contrast, because you remember how much, I'm old enough to remember how much VHS cassettes used to actually cost. Yeah. And you would pay damn near $100 a piece for them, for a VHS when it came out new, all the way up until they started priming the market for DVD.
McPuffin says that they found our channel a couple of days ago and have been binging ever since. Love your videos. Keep up the great work.
Oh, we appreciate
that. I bought a VCR tape. The Batman 89 Batman on VCR, because it's for the nostalgia and for my little diary.
It was like a quarter.
Yeah,
because you can find in thrift stores, you can find tons and tons of them.
And Gilgamesh says his pets aren't allowed in his figure room.
Yeah,
I had issues with
or
that.
Children or workmen.
Oh, videotapes are getting graded like comics. Rest in peace, Betty White says Harry.
There's Raccoon Eyes.
Hey, Raccoon Eyes.
And Harry O.
Do you think Hasbro will do a retro Star Wars for figures next year for the 40th anniversary of the Return of the Jedi? Will you be getting them?
I'm sure they'll do it, because all they have to do is crank out something with Star Wars on it and people will buy it. I probably won't. I really would prefer to find as much of the vintage stuff as I can, although that's gotten hard. And I've talked about it before. I had a massive Star Wars vintage collection that was stolen, and it's hard to replace, because I do the Star Wars journey videos on here. Mm-hmm. It's very difficult to replace, because when I got them, they were worthless. Nobody cared about them. They were still hanging on the pegs at KB. Even in the early 90s, the Power of the Force and Tri-Logo cards were abundant at KB Toy Store, like 2 and 3 for $1. So, but now that stuff's worth a fortune, and it's difficult now.
Movie Magic says, did Migo make Mork and Mindy? Somebody did.
Mattel
have Mork and Mindy.
Mattel made Mork and Mindy action figures, and they repurposed Sunshine Family doll bodies and some odds and ends from Big Jim. And they made a 3 3/4 inch 5 points Mork. I got a video up on it actually somewhere. It's an old one with a little egg. Mm-hmm. And then they made a Mork and a Mindy in like a 9-inch scale. Mm-hmm. And the Mork talks, kind of. He's got like a gigantic backpack like this with a pull string, and it says a couple of phrases from the show. And then the Jeep which they made for Mindy, but then they canceled the Jeep, so there's not many of them. The Jeep's very expensive to find. You probably pay $500 for it in the box, and all it is a repainted Big Jim Jeep.
Gilgamesh says people will probably buy the Golden Girls figure now that Betty White is dead.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I bet that'll go up for a little while.
We know ain't no one gonna buy the 2019 Charlie Angels dolls because they don't exist because they wasn't on any demand.
And if anybody wants any Charlie's Angels ones, they'll go find the old Mattel ones, the original 8 or 9 inch Mattel ones.
And Scareglow says, "Do you have all of the Brave Star figures in the box?"
No, I don't have all of them. I'm missing, and that's a tough set to complete because there's actually a bunch of store and company exclusives from Brave Star. Brave Star only was out for like 1 season, and it had 1 run of action figures, and then the figures were pulled because the show was canceled because the toys weren't selling, basically. And they have their regular line of figures, but then they have all these exclusives, and the more exclusive it is, the harder it is. So you got you got Brave Star, and then you got Brave Star with the action pack, which I have both versions of those. Then you got Brave Star with the badge. Then you have the Brave Star and Tex Hex 2-pack, and you got the Brave Star and 3030 2-pack. Then you got the Brave Star with the book and cassette on a card instead of a box. And the further up the line you go, the more expensive it gets. I think the carded Brave Star with the cassette tape is like $1,500. You know,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
what make people think somebody want to pay all that money?
There are completists out there that will do it.
Socrates says Laserdisc, and that's all he said with a question mark.
Oh, with a question mark. Yeah, Laserdiscs was the precursor to DVDs.
Yeah.
And you can find Laserdiscs dirt cheap. Nobody wants those either. If it's perfectly sealed, like never been touched, it might be worth something. But open ones, remember they were selling them at that thrift store for like $1.
Didn't we see a bunch at Goodwill one time?
Yeah, a while back.
Action Figure Phil. People didn't return their VHS tapes at Blockbuster, and now they're finding out that they think that they're going to make a quick $1,000 off of it, but nobody want to pay all that. So Ridley, I got my dog trained to know, okay, we don't bark in the theater room. It's about ambiance in the theater room. They did in Mark action figure, but no Mindy and no X-Store.
Who did?
I don't know.
Mattel made Mork and Mindy.
Yeah, because you got
9
them
inch.
both.
Yeah.
Love Super 7 would do Taxi.
Maybe he means a modern one.
Oh. They never do Sweet Pickles figures.
I don't know about that one.
I don't know who Sweet Pickles is. Mark with the egg would be perfect. Hate to love. Was there a figure that was always just out of reach for you? Yeah, a lot of things are just out of reach. I call it my lottery wish list.
Colorforms Aliens. Even back in the day, I couldn't afford those. The Colorforms Aliens line was very expensive. And I had the complete Major Mac Mason line. And I got that for a song. But
for a song?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Cheap.
Oh.
Showing my age. And the ideal super heroines were always expensive, even back in those days. And I had, I actually had Bewitched in the box, the ideal Bewitched, which uses the exact same body and head mold as I think Mira. Is it the Mira or is it the Batgirl? Somebody probably knows better than me. And Robert says he loves the Hardy Boys. Oh, you mean the 12-inch ones?
David got that.
It's hard to find those in the box. Well, it's hard to find one of them in the box. One of them is easy to find, and one of them, Parker Stevenson, is easy to find, and the other one's tough.
McMuffin, do you think there will be a cutoff point where none of these things we collect will have any value? Most collectors seem to collect due to nostalgia, but kids nowadays don't play with physical media. We actually did a video on that.
Yeah, we talked about that.
We talked about
extensively.
that. Yeah, and because the stuff we buy now, kids nowadays don't play with toys.
Yeah.
They don't even well, they got stuff in the store, but then you look at it.
I think a lot of the modern stuff in the future is going to be hurting. Because if anybody wants to go back and collect anything, they're going to go to the oldest point of reference in collecting. So it's like if 100 years from now, if anybody's interested in Masters of the Universe, they're going to just for speculative purposes. Yeah. What are they going to do? They're probably going to be more so interested in the original 80s Mattel stuff because that's where it started. And all that other stuff is just going to be confusing. You know, it's like, how many different lines did they make? Just let me look at the original things. And that might still retain a value. Also, keep in mind that with modern toys and action figures, almost none of it's getting opened. Back then, like 95, 98% of it was opened. And that's why some of the carded and box stuff is so expensive because you can't find it. Everything was opened. Or if you do find it, the box is all beat up. The card is beat up. It's rare to find it in good shape. Modern stuff, most people are not opening that stuff. There's a few that open it up and do action figure photography or something like that, or they like to display it loose. The majority of it is not getting opened, which means that the majority of it is going to be mint and available. Oh, there's Marcus Franco.
Hey, Marcus. Robert wants to know how my Barnabas Collins is coming on. Actually, the guy sent me pictures of the head, Friday or something? Yeah. He's about to paint it.
He's got the sculpt done, and it looks really good.
Yeah.
And he's got to paint it now. Yeah. It's just he got held up. He expected to have it done sooner, but it got held up.
I can't wait to see it painted. But just looking at the what's it called? What it looks like now, you can tell who it is, and it looks really good. I like the expression on his face. It looks really good. I'm excited to see it after he gets it painted, and then
eventually we'll do a whole video on it.
Yeah, because he sent us the pictures of it at this point, and we're gonna add that, and I'm gonna get the body and the clothes. Once he ships it, I'll buy the body and the clothes. I need to find somebody. I haven't been looking, but I need to find somebody that does a 3D printer so I can get the cane done, and I'll find a coffin because I think I want to put a coffin with him.
Yeah, not that he's gonna be in it, but and a hand sculpt that has that ring because he always is like this, and he's got that big oval
gigantic
ring on there.
Yeah, those two things and that coat. Those three things are significant, but the coat I'll figure that out. But I need the ring and the cane. So those two things I got to find a 3D printer for. Let's see, Melanie, there aren't any kids in the toy aisle. No, it's all adults.
They want electronics. They want video games. They want to be instantly entertained and not use their imaginations.
Link says, the other day I saw people selling their Funko Pops. Notice there are some Pops you didn't see back in 2016 and 18. Dang, David, I thought you were about to sing.
No, I'm not going to sing.
Hey, folks, I swear it hurts me so much when I hear Raiders. That movie, stupid and old. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Oh, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's a good. I like it. She likes.
Isn't that?
She likes the third one with Sean Connery.
That's that guy? What's his name?
Harrison Ford.
No, but the name Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones, yeah.
Okay, that's what he's talking about.
She likes the third one.
I don't care for those kinds of films. I like the little boy. I thought he was funny. The little boy. I don't know which one.
That's in the second film. That's from Temple of Doom. Short Round.
Yeah, the little boy was funny.
No time for love, lady.
Yeah. And Robert, we will do a video. I know there's a 1/6 Barnabas Collins you could swipe those
he looks
clothes
crappy
on.
Though.
Well,
for such an expensive figure. It's not that impressive.
I saw that figure, and I actually thought about it because it's like, once you finish getting everything together, it'll be about the same price. And at least if you bought the one that they have, it did come with a cane. And I think it did come with the ring, I believe. but it didn't look all that good. You know, it was like, but it's an expensive thing. I won't do it again. I'll say that much.
Uh-oh.
You see who this is calling me on the weekend. Go ahead. Hello?
Cadence. Scareglow wants to know if I like Ertl diecast vehicles from the 80s. Ertl was pretty cool, and they made some action figures too. They made these little 2-inch action figures like they did Burt Reynolds from Smokey and the Bandit and stuff like that. But yeah, Ertl was pretty cool. And Tonka too, and I think I want to say it was Tonka, I might be wrong, made a Fall Guy action figure, one with a plane and one with a vehicle. It might have been Tonka. I want to say Tonka, but I could be wrong about that. And let me see. Raccoon Eyes. I never watched Goonies either. I prefer Monster Squad. I've seen Goonies, and a lot of people have a real fond recollection of Goonies. I could take it or leave it. I think it's okay, but I don't think it's like massive 80s status worthy, like a lot of people say. But that's just my opinion. And Marcus says, I pick up 3 of the Telco animated Universal monsters from the early 90s. I used to drive people crazy when I turned them in my old store, since it was a nice pickup for me. That's cool. What are you doing with Crumb?
He was coming out.
Oh, was he?
So I picked him up.
Poor old boy.
He wants to be here.
Yeah, he does. He's a big baby.
Yeah.
He's jealous, though.
He's sorry. That's what it is. Get on my nerves. Do you like Ertl? Yeah, I have a few.
I do
mainly. What's that other one? Jada and Yeah, I got a bunch of Jada, but I do have 1 or 2 Ertls. Yeah, the 80s.
Oh, Scareglow says Tonka did make the plane. Okay, I thought so. I think because I have a ton of old catalogs, and I'm pretty sure I've seen in some of the old Sears and J.C. Penney catalogs, Tonka, because they made action figures. There were 3 3/4 inch.
Finding exactly what you want. Yeah, okay.
Monster Squad is funny, Robert. You might, it's a step up from Goonies, so you might like that.
Can you do another video? How Funko Pops are doing? Love the video.
Oh, okay. Maybe we haven't talked about Pops in a while.
Yeah.
What's wrong with your cats? Yeah, he's just a big baby.
That's all he is.
Yeah, the ones on the back, the strays that come to our back porch that like live on our porch, basically. And poor old Dad with his ear.
Van with the figure or the Scooby-Doo van. I have the turtle van with the figure, not the Scooby-Doo, because I don't care for Scooby-Doo. I've seen that in the stores, but I never picked it up. But I do have the turtle van with the figure. Yeah. I think I remember you mentioning in the video.
McPuffin.
Oh, you used to be a dealer. Yeah, that's
back in the 90s. And that you also collect at the same time. Do you have any advice on making the hobby pay for itself? The way that works, and that's actually what Warren is doing right now. I've mentioned before, my son owns Nerdtastic Plastic in Illinois. And you buy lots and you cherry pick, and then whatever you don't need or want, you sell and use that money to generate more income for buying other lots and so on. And there's Kaiser Kaiju, welcome aboard. And that's how I used to do it. But it's getting harder and harder to track down lots now. It's getting harder to find those kind of big deals. And I wonder sometimes, I see some of these guys on like Facebook or YouTube and these lots that they buy, and I think that they're faking it. But
it says, and anyone like or collect Sergeant Rock figures? And I don't know what Sergeant Rock
Remco made those, and it was based off a comic book from DC Comics. And it was Remco trying to knock off on G.I. Joe without actually making a knockoff.
Okay.
It's a cool figure line. It's okay.
Let's see. Really says you don't care for Scooby-Doo. I'm offended. No, I mean, I watched the original show. It's okay. I like a pup named Scooby-Doo. That was my favorite of all of them. But you know, I don't collect those figures. You know, it's just okay. To me, it's just okay. I won't watch it. I just thought it was kind of cheesy. David, do you take the McDonald's playset, replace the logo with Pizza Hut, and put the turtle back? No.
No. That McDonald. My Rimco playset is sealed. Unless he's talking about the one from Play School, the Play School Familiar Places.
Let's see. John is saying that he collects the modern Scooby-Doo figures. He bought them at Walmart. I've seen them. They look good, but you know, I'm just not into that.
Figures Toys Company makes a bunch of them too, an 8-inch, and they do all the villains.
Every now and then, Funko does make a cool pop. Recently picked up the Garloo. Was impressed. Yeah, I like.
I want the original Great Garloo.
I like when they do the Mickey Mouse, because I did buy the Mickey Mouse stuff with the with them on the car and on the train. The Winnie the Poohs I like. I got that stuff coming in from the Christmas line, and the last castle they did.
Yeah.
Because I really like that stuff. When they do that kind of stuff, I like.
Old school Disney back from before they were the evil empire.
And like, when was it, like 2019, 2020 or something like that? They did all of those vintage cartoons. That was good, and that drew me back in, because at that point I hadn't bought Funkos in years. And then they came out with like the gummies and dinosaurs.
Yeah, and then she fell off the wagon.
Yeah, I fell off hard and bought a ton of stuff. But now I'm back on now. So we'll see how it goes. But they do come up with some stuff. David, you mentioned the collection you had previously often. Which one was bigger, your previous one or the current
previous one? I could fill the museum room 5-6 times over with what I had.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That much? Yeah, the whole room, not just my side.
Yeah, because
I had whole lines back when it was cost nothing to buy it. When I think I mentioned this on one of the Star Wars videos recently, that IG-88 sealed in the box. I paid $80 for it, and that was probably too much then. You know, and now how much is it? Like, I could probably get $2,000 for one, or the complete line of 12-back Star Wars figures from the first release, mint on unpunched cards to include the vinyl cape Jawa, and they weren't even worth $100 a piece then when I got them. I had the entire LJN Thundercats line mint on the card and mint in the box. I paid $5 a piece for those, and that was the going rate. Wow. You know, so it's including the Thunderwing Lion-O and the Luna Lasher Mum-Ra, which most people have never even heard of. They were like, "There's no Luna Lasher Mum-Ra." Yeah, there was. I had it on the card, and to think what those things go for now, I can't replace a lot of it.
No, that's that lottery wish list.
I had to. So everybody pray for me to win the lottery, and I will have a nice contest in appreciation.
I recently bought an old figure from the late 90s Resource line of Crash Bandicoot figures. Okay. Weeks back in work, Weeks back in work, some customer wanted the Ninja Turtle double pack. When I came back on my break, I bought them all.
And that's been what's been happening a lot. That's part of the reason why I gave up on the G.I. Joe Classifieds, because I could never find the Target exclusives, the Cobra Island stuff. It was never there. And it just goes out the side door or whatever. You know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. There's a case of these here. You can't find anything. It pisses people off, and they get sick of it.
Yeah. Link says, "Do you want Banana Barbara? Make it come back?"
You mean Hanna-Barbera?
Hanna-Barbera. Okay.
They wouldn't do it right if they did.
Let's see. Robert was bummed this week. 3 icons died: Betty White, Sidney Poitier, and Bob Saget. All of them died this week. I'm watching through the 6 Flintstone seasons. Hanna-Barbera, Wow, Free.
There's Rome Ross.
I
Thanks for
want to
joining
watch
us.
Fang Face. I never heard of Fang Face.
I do remember it. I barely remember that one, but that is very familiar. Was that on CBS Saturday mornings?
Kaiser said a real creeper with women. I don't know who he's talking about. I'm going to say Scooby-Doo is oh, no. I'm not going to read any more of your comments, really.
Oh,
because you have issues and you need somebody to lay hands on you. And that's all I got to say to you.
And put the healing powers on you.
I'm just joking around with you. You know that too.
It's okay. It's all opinion.
Yeah. LPH, the last pop I bought was the Jungle. I bought the Jungle Cruise. I ain't got it yet. I don't know if I got it or not. I'm a big Mickey fan. Yeah, I got almost every pop of Mickey Mouse.
She's
I love
nuts.
the Mickey Mouse stuff. And Lynx love the Flintstones.
Yeah, because they're talking about the Flintstones here. And I haven't seen it in years. And of course, it was an adult show. It wasn't really for kids. But back in the 70s and 80s, they put on, especially after school, they put a lot of shows that were originally meant for adults on for kids to watch because they figured they're kids. They don't know the difference.
Yeah.
The Flintstones, the Warner Brothers shorts, those were never intended for children. The original Popeye shorts were not intended for children. None of those shows were. Droopy was not intended for children. And if you watch it as an adult, you catch a lot of humor in there where you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. A kid wouldn't get that.
Yeah. But, Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yeah. You know, Migo made Flintstones figures. They are very rare and expensive. Yeah.
Marcus says, have you ever picked up any Hikaris? I have some of the monsters, the creature, Frankenstein, both limited. Yeah, I have all of the Skeletors, all of the Ninja Turtles. I want that monster, the Methuselah, I think, the one with the big brain. What's his name? I can never remember the name of that.
I know who you're talking about from this island to Earth.
Yeah, I want that one.
The Mutoid, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think.
I want that one, but those are the ones that I have. I think David has one.
I have one that you gave me, and it's Bosk.
What is that?
Bosk from Star Wars. It's a bounty hunter. You gave it to me.
Really, Cinema Crazy He-Man rules. They brought back Hanna-Barbera on that Jellystone show on HBO Max, and they gender swap.
Oh no! Lord. See, I told you, if they bring it back, it's going to get weird.
My bad.
It's okay.
I heard a creepy theory that the Flintstone isn't in the past; it's actually the future after the apocalypse. Thus, the song "A Modern Stone Age Family." Creepy theory. Saw a YouTube video. They probably got a 5-hour YouTube video.
Well, they did smoke Winston cigarettes on the show, although they edited that out when they put it on for kids.
Yeah. Ridley says, I'm coming from a biased. I'll admit it. Scooby-Doo was my childhood.
Sure.
Yeah, that's cool. Scooby-Doo was fun.
Yeah.
I heard that too. When Jetsons met the Flintstones, they went back to the future, not the past. Flintstones were the cartoon version of
kind of. Yeah.
Fred and Barney.
Loosely based on it.
Like Smoke and Winston's. I thought it was Camels.
It was Winston's.
Oh, it was
Winston cigarettes and one-a-day vitamins they used to promote on the show. But when they put it for kids, they took that out because then they would have to work with the advertisers again. And they were like, nah, we don't want to bother with that.
Robert said that actually creeped me out. The Flintstones are actually the future. Flintstones were used to advertise Winston cigarettes. Be funny to saw Pebble smoking. Did you know Mel Blanc changed Barney's voice because of the car accident he was in? I don't know what.
No, I hadn't heard that. Mel Blanc was a voice actor.
I have the Flintstones complete series on Blu-ray, and it was very much an impulse buy, as I'm not super into Flintstones, but I had to have it and really barely touched it. Show the puzzles.
Oh yeah, frame tray puzzles, and thrift store pickups.
Yeah,
and it's one of those. And we're going to be doing a video at some point in the future talking about inexpensive things that people can collect. And this is just one of those examples, because you can find these in thrift stores, so you can find them in lots. These are just leftovers from the thrift store because we don't really want these. But frame tray puzzles, vintage frame tray puzzles, are a dime a dozen. They're practically worthless.
Yeah.
And even the ones that are like a high end, who remembers this show?
That's on Mr. Potato Head.
No, it's Potato Head Kids from a Saturday morning cartoon failed one season show. Or this one is really, I like this one actually. This is from the 70s. But frame tray puzzles or other boxed puzzles, even the ones of somebody big like He-Man, are not very expensive at all. They're pretty cheap. And we find these in thrift stores all the time for next to nothing. Or the frame tray puzzles, they bundle them up, which I hate because they do it with tape and then you got to carefully remove it. But you can often find box lots with dozens of puzzles. Actually, yeah, you got some more over here. She just bought these from off of eBay. And these are from the 80s. Vintage frame tray puzzles. And I'll leave that there for a second so you can try to read it, because these poems are actually really funny. And they cost next to nothing. I mean, you're basically paying pennies on the dollar and then shipping, because nobody cares. But the artwork that's on a lot of these frame tray puzzles is unique.
Oh, okay. Raccoon says she still has 2 of her He-Man frame tray puzzles. I have 3.
Yeah. Uh-oh. See what you did? This one's really funny too. Actually, I'll put that up there for a second, so in case anybody wants to try to read that real quick. But it's an inexpensive alternative to in collecting, and we're going to do a video on that. And this is just one of many things that is truly vintage that might fit, because she puts these on the wall.
Yeah, I do.
She's got a ton of them up. It's truly vintage and ridiculously inexpensive. Well, you get a couple of doubles there.
Yeah,
ridiculously inexpensive by comparison.
But it's something, if you want to add a variety to your collection, or if you want to buy something vintage, because a lot of people, they say that vintage stuff are expensive, so that's a cheap alternative, and to also again add variety to your collection. So we thought that was something that people might be interested in. The early 60s really had great cartoons.
I remember Johnny Quest and the Herculoids. Although the Herculoids was noisy. That was a loud show. All the animals yelling the whole time. But
oh wow. Okay, I remember Bobby's World. I remember that show. Wasn't it a cartoon with that guy from Let's Make a Deal?
No.
Deal or No Deal?
Deal or No Deal. Yeah.
Wasn't that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he did the voice. The voice was terrible. But it's not like Life with Louie. That was a thing for a while where you had a celebrity comedian and they would get their own Saturday morning cartoon show. Like, what was that other one? I just said it too.
What, Life with Louie?
Yeah, Life with Louie Anderson. And then there was Camp Candy with John Candy. And, of course, Bobby's World, which was Howie Mandel. And that was a thing for a little while. But I do remember that cartoon. I don't remember it very well, though.
It was a cartoon around Howie Mandel. Yeah. But what, Bobby was supposed to be Howie Mandel as a kid or something?
I think so. I barely remember it, though.
Yeah, I never saw it. I remember it being on, but I never watched it. Yeah. So, loved Life with Louie. Life with Louie was a great
She really likes that one.
I love that cartoon. I used to watch it when it came out, and then me and David watched it again. I think all of the series were on like YouTube or
because
Netflix
most of those
or
only
something.
lasted for a season. You know, it was a 1-season wonder and then gone. They didn't really hold on.
Yeah, yeah. And the dad was just the funniest on Life with Louie. He was just the best.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, dad was hilarious.
Socrates is saying it's like old VHS tapes. It's something you can collect for cheap. True.
Yeah.
As well as, and this is another one that we picked up, vintage storybooks.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants them. Nobody wants them. So you could, obviously, we got this in a thrift store just recently, but if you went online looking for these, they cost like nothing. And they're from the 80s, some from the 70s, vintage storybooks based on movie and TV characters and other franchises, and people just pay no attention to it.
Rome Ross says that he's been watching a bit of variety shows from the 70s this past week, and he didn't know Red Fox had a comedy hour show.
Yeah, the Brady Bunch had their own variety show, and Sonny and Cher and Captain Tennille. That was a big thing for a while. But the Brady Bunch one is hard to find if you look for it. That it was a weird show. It is very weird. It's like someone was trying to do a live action cartoon.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was an animated show for Ace Ventura and Dumb and Dumber. I know Ace Ventura had a cartoon, but not Dumb and Dumber. I didn't know Dumb and Dumber had one.
And Back to the Future had a cartoon. What's that other one? Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure had a cartoon.
I remember that.
Some of those didn't even last a season.
Came across someone who was sell the G.I. Joe puzzles. He was asking $100 for 3 puzzles. I said
that's
he
outrageous.
Keep it. Yeah. But some people get weird. If you look around on eBay and you look up puzzles, frame tray, or just regular puzzles, and some people think, oh yeah, I can get an arm and a leg. Like I saw this puzzle right here. I saw this one on eBay. Somebody wanted like $150 for it. And I'm sitting there, are you crazy? And somebody else got it in a lot of 4 for $10.
Yeah. That's that money laundering service.
Yeah. It's a good way to wash money. You could do that on eBay. But
I don't remember a Roseanne cartoon.
No, I don't remember that.
I don't remember that. You lost me on that one.
Mm-hmm. Everything is getting is getting rebooted. Yeah. When are they going to get Alf rebooted? No, because they rebooted Saved by the Bell, and I think Zach is black or something, and they redid all of the characters, and it's like, why do you do that? I guess
they're trying to impress each other. They make those shows for each other, not for us.
Yeah, because nobody wants to see that mess. McMuffin, I guess it's the difference between collecting in media, Funko movies, books, etc., as opposed to franchise or something within a time period, things from the 80s, The Simpsons, Harry Potter. I think we kind of do both. We collect from a specific era and specific genres or things like that, because we do like Masters of the Universe. Well, like G.I. Joe, you collect only a specific era of like G.I. Joe and Star Wars. You know what I mean? I remember the Bill and Ted cartoon cereal. Oh, they had a cereal?
Yes.
I still have
it. It came with the phone booth. That's right.
Oh, wow.
It had a toy. It was like a pencil box or something shaped like the phone booth with a sticker on the front, right? It's blue and it's got like a little T handle on top or something like that.
If you like variety shows, you should watch the Carol Burnett. Carol Burnett is funny. That guy, Tim Conway.
Tim Conway, because he always went off script.
Yeah, the one that they did about that elephant.
the Siamese twin elephants.
I don't know if it was.
They were connected at the
Action
trunk.
figure expert is here. Hello. How are you tonight?
Welcome.
All is well.
Welcome aboard.
Mm-hmm. But look up the Tim Conway when they were playing Super Password. I think it was an elephant. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was elephant that was Siamese twins, but they were joined at the trunk. And none of that was in the script, and that's why everybody's like, "Oh no, here we go!" And they all turn and they try to cover their face.
And all they can do is sit there
because he just wouldn't stop talking until the woman who played Mama actually cussed. She's like, "Will you shut the?" And then everybody stood up and walked off.
Socrates says you never hear anybody talk about vintage plushies. No.
Not really. Not really. Although I do collect Child Guidance Sesame Street puppets.
Yeah, he got those puppets
from the 70s.
They redid the Wonder Years. Yeah, now Kevin is black.
Yeah,
they can never
black.
just leave people alone. They either got to change the race or change the gender.
Yeah.
And it's like, nobody wants to see that. Does anyone remember when they put the dialogue from Return of the Jedi on album? I had it, but I think my mom threw it away.
Well, they did all of that stuff on albums back in the day. Vinyl was a big deal.
And Robert says, "Do they still do Cracker Jack?" Yeah, it's in a bag now. It's not in the box.
And the prize, it's like a code you scan or something.
Yeah, you got to scan it and go to the website. Have you guys seen any of the newer Disney CGI? No, we haven't.
Oh, here's Quicksilver.
Hey, Quicksilver
joining us.
It's about pandering. Quicksilver, hey guys, just popped in to say Happy New Year. It's been a while. Catch up live. There's so much hype for 80s nostalgia, and it gets a bit much at times. Yeah, where are the people still living an 80s lifestyle like their own version of the Amish?
That's because change isn't always good, but it is always forced. And so when you get old enough, you notice all the changes that have taken place, and you see all that has been lost and taken away, and you're hungry for what once was. That's why when you were a kid, you didn't understand why elderly people were all cranky and grumpy, but you know now. Since I know now.
Marcus, I enjoy using some of my artwork as backdrop. Recently completed an Elvira. Whoops. Have a few stories about her back in the 90s. I made a cool clock depicting her, and then she sent me a notice. Oh,
okay, that's cool.
Okay, Raccoon Eyes is talking to Melody. Stuffed animals are hard to collect and keep clean. Yeah, kids sneeze.
Yeah. There isn't a huge market for them, honestly.
Hey, Paul. Hi guys. Come get back. Nice jacket from behind the Hot Wheels. Dark Knight is Batman. From her company saying seek and desist. Oh, because he got in trouble with Elvira for making that figure. Drawing that picture.
So you pulled a Richard Simmons. Richard Simmons got in a lot of trouble with Barbara Streisand, and she got restraining orders against him back in the day because he was obsessed with her.
John McJunkin.
There you are.
Melody says Socrates spent $12 for a plush Bert from the claw machine at Walmart. He actually won it. I've never seen anybody win something.
Those things are rigged. Machine. If you won, there was an earthquake.
He had to spend $12 to get it. Hey, see you both again. Like the video from the Comic-Con you went to. Thanks. Oh yeah, watching the show The Toys That Built America. Oh, what is that?
Haven't heard of that one.
It's so interesting. What platform is that on? Can I watch that on Prime or YouTube?
Mattel is still brutal.
It's so interesting to see how companies are rivals. Mattel was brutal.
They screwed over a lot of people. They've been doing it for decades. It started with Barbie because Barbie is a bootleg. Barbie is a knockoff of a French doll. And the company sued Mattel, and Mattel managed to get over basically because they could afford it.
Yeah. Really said he got to start watching that Flintstones. Yep. I love my Jada Back to the Future Deloreans. Okay. I have one somebody gave me. The DeLorean.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Johnny Future gave that to you.
So who you pick? Oh, as a sidekick.
Oh.
Alf, Scrappy, Bleep and Gleek, etc. Orca, Snarf.
Orca or Snarf.
Yeah, because they're helpful.
They always get something done.
I've won a few plushies, but yeah, most are loosened on purpose.
Kaiser wants Fruity Pebbles. I gotta put that picture up when I get a chance on the Instagram. They have that Fruity Pebbles like Miss Butterworth syrup and pancake mix.
Ugh, that thing looked nasty. It looks like disgusting.
I thought it was a joke, but it's a real thing.
Yeah,
I'll try to show it. I took a picture of it actually.
They're gonna be able to see that. I always loved Mojo. He always
Mojo Jojo.
Oh.
From the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
See, that is a real thing. That looks so scary.
It looks nasty.
I would not eat that.
Marcus says, on the bright side, enjoy watching the both of you and your ultra cool collection. Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
We need Back to the Future 4 with Marty McFly going back to.
They'll ruin it. If they made a Back to the Future 4, they'll destroy it.
Well, you know what's his name can't be in it.
They've been ruining sequels. They've been ruining trying to bring sequels back.
Well, that guy has Parkinson's.
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah. So I mean, he won't be able to do nothing. He had a TV show that he was trying to do, but that didn't last a full season.
Yeah. But if they did resurrect it, I think they would blow it.
They would make Marty McFly a woman, just like they did on.
Oh, you're talking about a reboot? Well, oh my God, that's the worst. Is the reboot of Kung Fu?
They made that guy a woman.
And that's one of my favorite 70s shows, Kung Fu. David Carradine. Anybody ever watch that? That is a really well written show. Martha McFly. Yeah, there you go, Kaiser.
Did LPH find anything that might have been worth collecting or just purchasing? We're at the show. I didn't buy anything.
Yeah, she didn't get anything at the show.
No, I usually don't get anything when I go to the comic book shows. So, I don't get nothing. So I didn't get anything. Have you played the video game on Xbox? It acts as a Back to the Future 4. David don't have an Xbox.
I do have an Xbox. I got an Xbox 360. I haven't used it in a long time though.
You need to turn that thing on in a year.
Yeah, I haven't played the video games in quite a long time.
They made Marty a girl. If they did, yeah, they would. They would make that a girl, and she'll be black and all kinds of stuff, or maybe an Asian. Because I think they're wearing out the blacks, so they got to do Asians, or maybe a Indian or something like that.
Oh my God!
But that's what they would do.
Make them an Eskimo.
Yep, I saw that Kung Fu. A girl didn't see it, but I know. Yeah, I saw it because I was flipping through the channels. I think it's on either Tubi or Prime.
Oh yeah.
One of those, and it says Kung Fu. I think the legend continues or something.
Kung Fu: The Legend Continues is a sequel to the original Kung Fu that was done in the 90s, also starring David Carradine playing his own grandson. Anyway, it was okay. It wasn't as good as the original show, though.
Well, this one must be just a full-on reboot, but it's a girl, and I think she's Asian. She looked kind of Asian on the picture.
Yeah.
I wish they'd do a live-action Samurai Jack. I don't know what that is. Ash versus the Evil Dead was good, and so was the Chuck. He's still on that Chucky TV show.
I liked and disliked Ash versus the Evil Dead at the same time. I thought it was a little too adolescent. Some of the humor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Crumb, you back? And I didn't like how they made Ash such a buffoon because he was never that slapstick goofy in the original series, and I think they went too far with it.
Ridley says there's a point and click Back to the Future game where Marty goes to the 20s and visits young Doc. But that's all I know. Okay, I'm tired of women playing the main. I am too. I've been tired of that since it started.
It's unrealistic. A lot of it is unrealistic.
Yeah, it's unrealistic.
I have my reasons. I'll say in a minute.
It's unrealistic, and also a lot of the things that happen don't have to, and you can tell it's that woman's fault. Just like in that movie with what was it? Unhinged. You remember Unhinged with the guy, and all he wanted the woman to do was apologize, and she refused to apologize. All she had to do was apologize. But then she survived, and also in that other movie, the Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, she got everybody killed.
All she had to do is stay her behind in the room.
She knew something was wrong because she saw that body.
Mm-hmm.
And well, by the way, Jesse say what is here?
Yeah, hey Jesse.
Out of sight is here.
Hey, out of sight.
Say hello. But the problem I have with it is I have an issue because I have a martial arts background. Of seeing like an 80-pound, 5'2" woman in 8-inch heels beating the hell out of a dozen ninjas with her bare hands and dodging knives and stars and stuff like that.
The other day. That woman in the third world country that lost her baby.
It was like a knockoff of Taken. It was like if Taken was a woman.
That movie
the premise was ridiculous.
So ridiculous.
I've had even when I was taking martial arts, and there was an instructor, and this was like in the early days in the late 80s, and she was like a 4th degree black belt, and she said, and she did like the women's defense classes, and she made it clear, don't get cocky. I'm a 4th degree black belt. If a 250 pound guy came up to me, I would not want to fight him, because if he knows how to fight, he's going to throw me all over the room. Don't get cocky. It's just not realistic. Real life is not like on TV, and I've seen it. I've seen that too, and especially in training sessions and stuff.
Yeah.
So when I watch it, from my experience in the martial arts. When I watch those movies and those shows and I see, like I said, 80, 90 pound, 5'2" woman in 8-inch heels flipping and jumping and spinning, and they cut frame the crap out of it, it makes me sick.
We saw a movie last week. I don't know what the name of that movie was, but this lady, she was all depressed and everything, and her mom told her to go on vacation. So she goes on vacation with her baby. It's a little baby. I think the baby was like 2 months, 3 months old. She goes to this third world Muslim
Middle Eastern country.
She goes, I want to say she went to No, I was going to say she went to India. She went to some third world Muslim country.
Yeah.
In the middle of wherever. I don't know where she was. And her baby gets kidnapped. And she's running through the town barefoot, running up the sides of walls, pulling the guy out of the car, through the window.
She reached through the window, smashed the window,
with her hand.
Through. Yeah. If you ever seen anyone hit a windshield, I have. The hand to be
shredded.
Not a
windshield, it was a window.
Side window. I've seen that. I've seen somebody do that. And his hand just popped.
Not hers.
Where she reached through and pull a guy who looks like he weighs 200 pounds and just whip him out like a rag doll.
Through the window.
With arms about that big.
That lady, I doubt if she weighed 120 pounds, because they showed her after she got shot in the snow. I don't think she got shot. She got stabbed in the side. So then, of course, they showed her with no clothes on, so because she had stabs in the side. She wasn't 120 pounds. And then she had to sew herself up.
No anesthesia, nothing.
Stuff. And you're just sitting there like, lady, you ain't doing all that.
At least pick a woman that looks like they can do it.
Yeah.
Is what I mean. They never cast, like, rarely, I should say, they cast muscular or athletic females in these roles. Like Xena Warrior Princess. She was thick.
Yeah.
And you could say, okay, I could see her throwing punches. But they always pick these skinny, like fashion model looking females, and I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. I don't care how fast you are.
John says that he loves kung fu, especially Master Khan and Master Po. I love the little flashbacks with them. It kind of make you kind of jealous because he had somebody there. I mean, it's a TV show, but somebody was there to guide him, hold his hand along the way. And when he had questions or came into a little roadblock, they didn't tell him what to do, but they helped him see the situation in a different perspective. Yeah. I have a new respect for the Jazzware Fortnite figures. Hasbro is not just doing it. Okay.
I'm not familiar with it. I've never played Fortnite.
Kung Fu figures from Shawn Brothers need to be made. I believe it's a good property to have. You have a Kung Fu figure. Don't you have a little boy?
Excuse me. It's a knockoff. Well, it's a bootleg, rather. A knockoff is a copy. A bootleg is one that was never authorized. It was made by Durham in the early 70s, and it's supposed to be young Kwai Chan Kane. And it says the name of the figure is Young Kung Fu Chop. And CBS caught wind of it and said, no, take that crap off the shelves. And they got in trouble for that figure. But I do have one.
There's a fight scene I saw where two ladies are fighting against a CIA agent inside a museum. One of the ladies pulls a flintlock off the wall, and it actually loaded. Oh, it was actually loaded.
So a museum piece was loaded. What a coincidence. And a flintlock that just worked. It's not that simple.
Brandon says he loved Drunken Master with Jackie Chan.
Both of them.
Both of them were pretty good.
Because he did two.
Yeah.
An original and a remake. He remade his own. But both of them came out really well.
I know that name, but I don't know. Blind Swordsman is the best.
Rutger Hauer.
Okay.
And that's from Blind Fury.
I saw Blind Fury.
Right? That movie's fun.
I remember watching Xena when she was 8 months pregnant. Wow. And doing flips. I didn't know women could do.
Granted, those shows were very exaggerated. Hercules, Kevin Sorbo, Hercules, and the Xena were exaggerated and almost hard to watch now. But like I said, at least if you're going to pick a female heroine who's going to be running around throwing down on people, at least pick someone who athletically looks like they could do it. You know, there are female bodybuilders out there and powerlifters and stuff that are pretty thick and still look feminine.
Yeah.
Instead of these fashion model people that they pick for these movies and shows.
I like Joxer on Xena. He was my favorite.
I remember Joxer.
I've seen Xena a couple of times. I always thought it was cheesy.
It was very cheesy.
You know, I watched it a few times. I never watched Hercules, but I did watch Xena a few times. And that was it.
Yeah, I think it was Mattel made action figures for those series. Was it Mattel?
Who knows?
Or I'm trying to remember. Somebody probably knows better than me.
But
Raw Talk says anything from '89 and earlier is the best. Well, it really kind of peaked in the '80s. Movies and cinema, and then honestly, I feel that okay, we get it. Sorry, it's just a prompt from YouTube. I mean, it covers the screen. We can't see what we're doing, but it peaked in the '80s, and then in the '90s started to dwindle. I think probably around 95, 96 ish. Wrestling got too weird. Comic books got weird. Movies got weird. The CGI got better. They started worrying more about how the movie looked rather than how well it was written. You know.
Yeah, Outside is saying that's true about the women and all of that, but can they act? I mean, you can. I've heard
some of them.
Some of them can.
Some of them I don't think are good.
Where like people get ready for the show for over a year. They do a movie like Demi Moore when she was going to do Striptease. She worked out for a year. But you can teach a person to do the acting, and half of the time they don't really have lines anyway.
Yeah.
You know, they're just needed for the look.
You can
they don't
coach.
Have a lot
you
of
can
lines.
coach them through it. It depends on what they're doing.
Yeah, and I mean, how many movies have you seen with some actors and they're horrible? It's like, man, you cannot act. You sound like you're reading.
Yeah,
you know?
and they're terrible actors, but they get all this fanfare.
Yeah,
they get huge fanfare. A good example is the Captain Marvel movies. People hated her. They thought her acting was terrible. But look, she's Captain Marvel. Okay, she even sounds bad in the commercial for the truck. She does the voiceover for that commercial.
Yeah,
and she sounds like she's sitting there. This is how we do this. I am, it's awful. It sounds like she just read it off a piece of paper over the phone, and they just recorded it and said, "All right, this is the best we're going to get out of this bitch, and let's just move on." It's terrible.
God.
It's a terrible reading. And there's a difference between voice acting and regular acting too. And I hate it when they take a regular actor and hire them for like a cartoon or a commercial voiceover, and they're terrible because they don't know how to do a dramatic read.
I think Eddie Murphy is a good voice actor.
Hey, yeah, he was all right.
Stone Sour.
Yeah, there's Stone Sour. Where you been? Kitty Fun. Yeah, no kidding. He's sleeping right behind her. You can't see her. She's there. He is. You can see him between the chairs, laying out. The other cat, we don't know where she is.
Kaj likes the new Tomb Raider. Robert, I like Xena, where they were fighting heaven and hell. Very weird, but I remember Castillo, her greatest enemy, was redeemed. Like that episode sounds like a block of wood. So they killed her off.
John Frosnick liked Terminator 2. That's probably the best movie in the franchise.
It was a good movie.
Terminator.
I saw Terminator 2. The first one was fine. The second one was with that guy.
The first and the second
melting guy. The guy that melted.
Yes. The T-1000.
Captain Marvel was garbage compared to Eternals dumpster fire.
Yeah. All seven cats. Thank you, Stone Sour. Because 5 in the woodpile and then 2 in the house.
A decent female lead action film is Peppermint. She gets nearly killed a couple times, but it shows her training and improving her fighting styles.
And it can be done, and people make the examples. No one had a problem with Kill Bill. No, and even though a lot of it was exaggerated because he was copying it, a lot of those fight scenes were duplicated from Lone Wolf and Cub. But nobody had a problem with Kill Bill. No one had a problem with Ripley in Aliens. You can do if you don't emphasize that it is a female and just let her do her job acting. Typically, you don't have a problem with it. I never heard anybody say anything bad about Ripley's character.
But Ripley didn't do anything outrageous. Everything was within means.
It was like, okay, I could see somebody doing this.
Yeah, it was within means. It wasn't like flipping and fighting the alien and ripping the arms off and biting the head off with her teeth and all kinds of stuff. She had a flamethrower and that machine and all kinds of stuff and a gun. Okay, that's believable. It wasn't outrageous.
And asked the guy to show her how to use it.
Yeah.
He was like, can you walk me through this? Because she knew she would have to fight.
Out of Sight says Angelina Jolie and Wanted was pretty. I never seen a movie, I think, with her in it. Angelina Jolie.
I remember Wanted.
I never saw it. I don't think I've seen a movie with her in it. I wouldn't want to piss off Sarah Connor. She got annoying, especially in that last movie. That last one. And even the girl told her she was a bit much.
They did that in Terminator 2 because she started getting onto this matriarchal diatribe in the middle of Terminator 2. And then her son, John, was like, okay, Mom, let's just hang this up for now. And it was like, and I remember watching the review on Siskel and Ebert, and they were saying they were glad he did that in the film to make a point about that type of subject matter in movies. There's a limit. and she went over the limit, but then they reeled her in that film. But now they don't anymore. Now they don't. Now they encourage it.
Yeah, Kaiser says the main problem is that the only thing that matters in movies is these directors. To these directors is the gender, race of the person, and that's true. They don't care about making a good movie anymore. It's how many social justice points we can fit into this time.
Can I check all the boxes?
Yeah.
Because we give away awards to pat each other on the back now instead of letting them be earned.
Yeah, and the movie don't talk about nothing. It has no plot, no points, no nothing. It's how many points can we cram into this amount of time that they've given us for this movie?
Yeah. And Raw Talk says Terminator is an instant classic with hard-hitting actors who helped shape earlier sci-fi. Yeah, the first couple of films, definitely. The first two films. And of course, the original Terminator was an 80s film. And again, a lot of great 80s cinema. A lot of great 80s cinema came out. RoboCop is another example, although they blew it with 3.
Yeah, Ridley says the crazy part is the people they're pandering to is less than 5% of the population. Yeah, they're pandering to a bunch of people, and it's not that many people because the bulk of the people, the 95% of the people, don't want to see that. They just want to see a good film with a plot, some good acting or halfway decent acting.
Yeah.
Just a good plot. Let's just get a good plot going on, a good storyline, and be done with it. Watch Day Tomorrow, nothing clean.
Yeah, that's what's his name was saying to that actor, I can't think of his name, said to the Terminator, because in the opening scene, he lands naked and he walks up to him and he said, "Nice night for a walk." Nice night for a walk. And he repeats everything they say. And then he was like, "Wash day tomorrow, nothing clean," like that. And then, of course, he ends up killing the 3 of them. Or he kills 2 of them anyway. I think he killed 2 of them.
There's a reason those Eternal figures are sitting on the shelf at Walmart.
Yeah, the movie, nobody liked it. We didn't see it.
I wanted to see it until I saw an interview with the main character.
No, you're talking about Legend of the Rings.
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking about the rings. Yeah, I never saw it.
And the actor was such a jerk in the interview.
Yeah, he was bad. Yeah, that was the Rings. You're right about that. That Asian guy.
Legend of the Rings. And it's a shame because it was such an obscure storyline that they pulled out of Marvel history. And it's like, oh, that might be interesting. But then he was such a jerk in the interview that she was like, oh, wow, I don't even want to see it now.
Yeah, because I watched the interview because we were planning to go see it. And I was like, oh, let's look at the interview, see what they got to say.
Might have been better off never seeing it.
Yeah. Because I would have seen the movie and probably would have liked it, or it probably would have been okay, but nah, they didn't get my money. So, did you see the interview with Arnold say, screw, yeah.
Yeah,
we saw
it's unfortunate, and I just wish a lot of these famous people, actors, musicians, athletes, whatever, would just keep their political views to themselves.
Yeah.
I like his films, and you can't take that away from him. He's been in some good films. He's been in a handful of dogs, but he's been mostly in some good films. He was a governor once. He was Mr. Olympia, Mr. Universe. And you can't take that from him. Why can't you just run with that?
Yeah, just let that be enough.
If you have a political opinion, you don't have to be nasty about it either.
Keep it to yourself. Nobody wants to hear that.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Rob is just a fan. The poor guy on the escalator, Total Recall. He was already shot, though. Used him as a shield.
It's because they have enough time in the spotlight, and now they're sad, bitter people that want attention. Yeah.
Well, they don't know how to age out of it gracefully, because you get to a point where you're not going to get the attention that you once did. And sometimes you just need to walk away walk away and retire and fade away like Sean Connery. Well, Sean Connery quit because of Lord of the Rings, though.
Yeah, you said so.
Yeah, that's, if anybody knows that story, he picked the wrong script. He had a choice between Gandalf or League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And you know which one he picked, and that was his last film. And after that, he says, you know what? I just can't pick him anymore. I'm done. I'm retiring.
Gilgamesh says the reason almost all of what I watch is animated is because I don't like actors in real life. With animated shows, the characters is who they are, and that's it. Paul says, did you hear
I heard that.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Real Deal, our B, C, D, E, F movies from the 80s shatter all of the A-list movies of because of quality behind the camera and the love of the art.
The soul is missing.
That's true.
Yeah,
they don't put any feeling in anything. And you watch it and you wonder, how are these movies getting awards? And then now they're so bent on giving awards to women and giving awards to minorities. And it's like, well, is the movie any good?
I had that, and I talked about it. And I thought I was going to make a few people upset when I talked about it. This is a couple of years ago, and didn't. A lot of people ended up agreeing. And I said that Black Panther is not a good film. I did not like it. It was not. I didn't think it was well acted.
Come on.
I didn't like the main characters. The only character I did like was Killmonger. He's the only one that made any sense. I didn't think it was that well written and leaned too heavily on CGI. But it got awards, and it got awards because it fit their mold. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I saw it. I didn't think it was good. If I never saw it again, I won't care.
I never saw the movie.
And people were, and the reaction I got from people was like, yeah, you're right. It really wasn't that great. It's like a C-list film. It's like Iron Man 3. If Iron Man 1, I could watch again. It was really well done. Iron Man 3, if I never see it again, who cares? Because they didn't do a good job on it. And I don't think they did a good job on the Black Panther either.
Hate the Eternals. It is, I'm sure they explained it, but they're supposed to be all powerful and they can't even help the Avengers. Arnold's dad was in the Australian military in World War II. Austrian. World War II, when you think about it, it's shocking Arnold doesn't care about your freedom. Don't care about
he's pandering. He's still being a politician, and he's still pandering. And I don't need advice from someone who can't keep his own house in order. Because he's got a lot of issues himself. Eternals would have done better if they had kept it Kirby-esque, because that's a Kirby masterpiece, isn't it? Not the original comic wasn't that great anyways, but I think if they had kept it kind of Kirby-ish, it would have done better.
Still like Arnold when he just does his job and shuts up. John, normally females aren't strong enough to fight a big guy, but I saw a female army soldier knock out a 6 foot 700
pounds
170
my
pound
700-pound life.
I know, because the guy was good. Watch out, LPH might cross you. Sometimes you just got to fight dirty. You got to pick up a brick, get some sand in their eyes, get a razor or a screwdriver.
What?
And stab them. I'm serious.
What, like on Fridays? Like on Fridays, where the guy at the end of the movie, he talks him out of using a gun.
A brick. Oh yeah.
He talks about it here. He's like, no, son. He was like, that's dirty. You don't fight that way. But beating someone in the head with a brick is not outside the realm of possibility. I'm
talking about a woman versus a man. Sometimes you got to get creative. You got to get that screwdriver. He got you in a big hug like this, and you got that one free arm, and you just start stabbing with that screwdriver and stuff like that. You got to get creative. That's all I'm saying. Robert likes the Black Panther. If you think about it, it was Lion King. Someone spoofed it. I don't know. I never saw it.
She didn't see Black Panther.
No.
Yeah, I could see the Lion King connection. Keep in mind, it was still Disney, right? Pocket Sand, yeah.
I started watching Wrinkle in Time, and that first episode, I had to turn it off. It was too woman heavy for me, female heavy for me. You remember Wrinkle in Time? We watched it for about 10 minutes.
I don't know.
I can't even.
If it's modern, I probably don't remember.
Yeah, it is because it's on Amazon Prime right now.
Yeah.
And we watched it, and they were looking for like a child or a person to be it, and they found something, and it was the town is run by women, and they had a woman council. And
oh God, yeah, it got weird fast.
Yeah, real quick, like in the first 10 minutes. I wanted 1/6 Mel Gibson figure where you just press the belly and he goes on a phone rant. Black Panther was poorly written.
That's raw talk.
Yeah, flash political liberal messaging. I fell asleep at the end of Black Panther in the theater opening night. I'm surprised I didn't get yelled at by a mob.
They was asleep too.
Yeah. Everybody I've heard that's seen it said they loved it.
Patrick likes John Wayne.
Oh yeah? Yeah, with John Wayne, I like his movies. He had some good movies. I like Black Panther. Oh, it's sad he died. Kaiser, I love. Okay, so we did that. Arnold is just trying not to get canceled because remember, he and Stallone was the peak of their masculinity on the screen. And if they dig up his past, have a few days. Yeah.
He's trying to stay relevant instead of being relevant. Yeah. Like Stallone has managed to be relevant, but you never hear anything political out of the guy. He don't talk about that stuff. He's still acting. He runs that Beastmaster. Yeah, he runs that obstacle course show
on Netflix.
Yeah, and stuff like that. I mean, he knows his limitations. That's why he's made himself a secondary character in the reincarnation.
Yeah, the Shark Man.
No.
In that movie, Suicide Squad.
Rocky.
Oh yeah.
Because they have Creed now, which is a continuation of Rocky, but he's made himself a secondary character because he knows he can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But he still remains relevant that way.
Yeah. If there was one man I would let slug in the face without repercussion, it'd be Clint Eastwood. You know, we just saw a Clint Eastwood movie this week. The one with
Thunderbolt and Lightfoot.
Yeah, that was sad at the end because Lightfoot died. Mm-hmm. Stallone doesn't care either way.
Yeah,
he's actually doing good. Yeah, Creed is the movie. Tell the truth, LPH was part of CAG unit. She knows how to get them survivors and prisoner only means you missed it. I want to see Gran Torino. That was a good movie.
Yeah, Gran Torino was good.
That was good.
It was
and
well
the
written.
Mule was good too.
Mule was fun. That was a fun movie.
You gotta pull the pistols.
You gotta pull those pistols and whistle disky. Yeah, quoting Clint Eastwood there.
Oh, okay.
I think you were quoting Clint Eastwood, right? Was it Clint Eastwood or
Cry Macho?
I haven't seen Cry Macho. I never saw that.
That's a movie?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the very last film that Eastwood did.
Oh, okay.
But I have not yet seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Outlaw Josie Wales.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that what he did it? Actually, my favorite line out of the Outlaw Josie Wales is when he was like, aren't we going to bury, he killed those two guys out in the field. And he was like, are we going to bury him? And he says, why? Birds got to eat same as worms.
Robert said, has we seen Cobra Kai season 4? No, we haven't seen
Netflix.
It. We don't have Netflix. Maybe somebody else in the chat has seen it. I've heard it was good, that they're doing a good job with it.
Yeah, they still haven't messed it up yet. And I've referenced it several times because we saw the first 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And basically it's proof you can go back to a franchise and not blow it.
Yeah.
You keep your politics and your SJW stuff out of it and your social stuff out of it.
Wow. Raccoon Eyes said that they binged Cobra Kai in 1 day.
I'm surprised you can remember any of it. We don't like to binge. We don't like to binge. I remember The Gauntlet. And they actually shot up that house in The Gauntlet. Remember, they dissolved the house with bullets.
Oh, it said Eastwood was his best in
Pale Rider. I remember Pale Rider.
I didn't see Pale Rider.
I like Pale Rider. That was good. He was a priest. Kind of.
He was a priest in
Thunderbolt and
Lightfoot. Well, he was acting as a priest for a minute. Scott Eastwood did a Western just to appease the fans. Diablo. Scott Eastwood is good looking. That's Clint Eastwood's son.
Oh, okay.
It was fairly low budget, but one of the better Westerns in recent years. I watched Cobra Kai clips on YouTube. That ain't the same.
Eastwood is one of those few actors where it would be hard to pick out a bad film. A lot of actors, sometimes they'll take anything, and they'll have a bunch of good films, and they get a bunch of awful films. And there's a handful like Charlton Heston.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be hard pressed to say, okay, that film wasn't that great. And Eastwood is in that category of people that pretty much the majority of, or most of the stuff they did were pretty decent films, or you wouldn't be upset watching it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Poor House and The Gauntlet, and The Bus, because they ripped the bus to shreds too.
Bridges of Madison County, Clint Eastwood romantic film.
And Play Misty for Me. No, that wasn't romantic, but that was weird.
That was like a kind of thriller, horror, suspense.
Well, thriller suspense, yeah, I would call it a
horror.
That
was like that movie with the cat and the lady boiling the cat. What was that movie?
It was a rabbit.
What a rabbit. What was the name of it though? Can't think of it. You know the one.
Yeah, you threw me now, but I know.
Somebody knows it. Where the woman boils the rabbit because she was in love with the guy who was married. But I mean, Clint Eastwood wasn't married, but he was being Fatal Attraction. That's it. He was being stalked.
He should have cheated.
He didn't cheat, did he?
Yeah, he slept with her. Oh, that's what started it.
That's what happened to Barnabas.
Mm-hmm. You shouldn't mess around with your spouse. And see bad things happen.
My back door.
Yeah, I know. Lightfoot warned us about that. They'll come creeping around.
John McJunkin said, "Wild Wild West or the Lone Ranger from Western Heroes."
Lone Ranger, Wild Wild West, not the Bruce Willis Wild Wild West. Not Bruce Willis. I mean, now you got me doing it. Who was it that was in that? The remake of Wild Wild West. The movie version was terrible.
Mm.
It was terrible. The TV show, it was okay, but I haven't seen that since I was a kid. I don't think Wild Wild West. But anyway,
The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. That was amazing. And The Unforgiven. Clint Eastwood.
Unforgiven was good. I think he got 8 Oscars for Unforgiven.
Will Smith.
Yeah, Will Smith was in the Wild Wild West film version.
Yeah,
and that was bad.
I didn't see it. I remember it being out, but I didn't see it. I remember it, being out.
That was bad.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a lot of bad films. He's got He's got more bad films than good ones, honestly.
He got an award for that one with his son. The one he did with his son.
The one that nobody watched.
The Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, Pursuit of Happiness. Yeah, Pursuit of Happiness. It was okay.
I never saw it.
Pursuit of Happiness was okay. It wasn't accurate. It was based on a true story. Yeah, it was based on a true story, but it really wasn't accurate.
And he was in the one with Muhammad Ali. He played Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, and that wasn't well received either.
Oh, it wasn't?
No.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't well received. But like I said, he's been in more bad films than good ones. Will Smith. But what are you gonna do? That's okay.
Well, he don't really do too much of nothing now, though.
No, he hasn't done anything. Well, I think he's kind of embarrassed now.
Why?
Because of that whole scandal with his wife.
Everybody know that they have an open marriage.
Yeah, but he don't like it. Apparently. But you haven't really seen much of him since that whole business with her came out. I think he's hiding out. But let me see. Anyways, we've been on for 2.5 hours.
Yep.
And so we should probably start wrapping up here. And thank you to everybody for everybody dance now.
Yeah.
But we should probably start wrapping up now and let everybody get back to their life. I'm sure you all have something to do.
Yes.
You sure you all have something to do? We have something to do. Actually, we're going to get dinner.
Oh,
Are
yeah.
you hungry?
No, because I ate before this.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Robert, it's always a joy.
Well, come on, Ridley.
What Ridley said.
What life?
Oh, no.
Come on, Ridley. Robert was asking us about the collection.
Oh, yeah, we got that coming up soon. So be on the lookout.
Long story short, because we're trying to improve the quality.
Yeah.
And so we got a new camera. Because I pointed up, this Darren came in late,
Darren.
but thanks. Been saving up pretty much all year to try to get, because we're not millionaires here, to get a good 4K quality camera. So we get it and it doesn't work, and brought it back to it's from Best Buy. Brought it back to Best Buy, ordered another one. They didn't have it because they don't have anything in Best Buy anymore, and neither do the employees know anything. When you ask them questions, they don't know anything. So had to order it and have it sent to us, and then you're going to have it tomorrow. It'll be sent to you. You're going to get it tomorrow. No, we get delay notice after delay notice, and now again it's supposed to come tomorrow. Yeah, I wish I was a Bitcoin millionaire. You have some Bitcoin you want to send me? I'll take it.
Send me about 10 Bitcoins.
Yeah, thank you.
10 full Bitcoins.
And I will have an appreciation contest on the air.
Mm-hmm. We'll give you a calendar.
we're hanging by a thread here, waiting for that camera to come, and then we'll do a tour. But anyways.
Yeah. So once we get the camera, we're supposed to get it tomorrow, but tomorrow's a holiday.
See.
So hopefully by the end of the month, we'll have a tour video. Is the cut and dry of it. When the cookie finish crumbling, we want to try and have a tour video up by the end of the month. So.
Ridley says that they've been getting better step by step.
Oh, good.
Which is good, and we appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, because he had the surgery. I got physical therapy Tuesday, and they have been pushing me hard. Yeah, they will.
Kaiser,
on the treadmill, my back is getting better step by step. Yeah.
Kaiser says, I thought you got a camera. Yeah. This one.
This one is
that's attached to the computer.
Yeah, this one is for live.
We're talking about like this.
Yeah, video camera.
Because this is the one we've been using, which is fine. But, sometimes it doesn't pick up the color saturation good. And sometimes you get a lot of that, that whirring sound you hear.
Hear that.
Oh, they hear it. That whirring sound is actually the sound of the lens being picked up by the speaker.
John says he bought a 4K camera too. Came home and couldn't get it to work. Took it back. And the sales associate told me to take the lens cover off.
Okay. Anyways.
Anyway.
Again, thanks everybody for joining us. We hope you had a good time, or maybe you'll catch us on the flip side and see this in our film history. A lot of stuff coming up this week. We got a statue unboxing.
Mm-hmm.
We have a Star Wars journey.
Don't you have a G.I. Joe journey?
Maybe. And the train video, which is going up tomorrow.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you all again soon.